might make you say, wow, let's enjoy some fun conversation. We'll be shooting the shelf around the nation. Let's start shooting the shelf.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome,
morning, Jesse.
Shooting the Shelf. Curtis, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. I love that theme song. I think it's the best theme song on YouTube. I know those guys over on that OffWorld thing may have something to say about that, but yeah, this one gets me going, man. I'm pumped. You know, what'd be really cool is at LegionsCon when we do our kind of closeout LegionsCon show, if we could get Jeremy to do that song live, that would be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, might have to see what we can do on that.
Maybe we get him to do a mashup since it was like it's the OffWorld Shelf mashup.
That'd be cool. Hey, whatever we can get, we'll have to work out some sort of nice trade, nice barter system. Get him some cool stuff, and then have him perform live.
I might have some old Pac-Man stuff in one of my boxes. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So it's Sunday night. It's June 2nd. We're a couple weeks away from 3-year anniversary of this show starting. So that's pretty cool. So maybe we've crossed our 750 subscriber mark.
We have.
So maybe we do that in tandem with our 3-year anniversary of the show starting. We'll do that at the end of June, some sort of special.
Okay.
I forget who we have on that week. I know we already have
I think that might be Jordan.
Okay. Well, man, that's the perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
No, I'm not chilly. I mean, I do have my air conditioner going, but like my hair's a mess. I didn't want to sit here and make everybody look at my thinning, crown. So I threw on my Jane hat, and he's the hero of Canton.
Yeah, 30th of June we've got Jordan on, and you know what? The last time we had a big, huge wheel giveaway thing, it was Van on. So
it was.
I think that's kind of perfect.
There we go. All right, Jordan, get ready. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I mean, we always have fun, but we're gonna have fun giving stuff away when you're here at the end of the month. So, tonight we're gonna have fun with a really cool photographer member of the community. He's forced Curtis to get his first AWOC figure.
Do we want to hit the folks up in the chat first before we bring them on?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Just didn't want to forget those folks because they are out here supporting us and we appreciate it. We have Dave working. Apparently he logged in 5 days ago to say hello. No, I'm just kidding.
Sounds about right.
We got Captain Firebeard Baker, Rob Zamora, Ostradamus Toys is out there, V-Dog. We've got Jeff Evans, Dylan, Legends Collector 1321. We've got David Williams. Stacy Lynn is out there. Jordan himself. Dirk's Designs. Carver Customs. So we got both the Lynn's out there. We got Tanya McCoy. We got Kevin McCoy. So we got both the McCoys out there. Steve Obeg. We've got Stephen Bishotti. Wow. We got Jeremy, and I don't know how to pronounce your name. You're gonna have to give me phonetics or something. That's how people say it, but then apparently that was wrong. So I don't know. So yeah, give us some phonetics and we'll memorize it. We got Dub3 out there, Van Johnson. So we got both the Purple Gang, Joe Vassapolo, Mr. C, Michael Casper,
Mr. C.
Yep. Mark Rivera, Michael Morales. We've got Purple Gang in there as well. And yeah, I think that's it. But we also have a early super chat, $1.99 from Van Johnson. Jesse loves bears.
It's true.
Yep.
It's true. It's my family nickname since I was born.
Yeah, people think that it's goats that's his number one, and he does like goats.
I do like goats,
but bears are number one.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, since we're thanking people, I'll throw out some super chat thanks from last week. Kent Pool Collects. Guy Segway, Echevarria, Van Johnson, and that's it for last week. So thanks, folks, for the super chats and all of that.
So Jeremy says either is fine. We don't want fine. We want right. So yeah, let us know. Let us know.
Well, Jordan says go veer, and that we should listen to Euro Legions, which I do. I don't remember.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, we ready to get to our guest?
Yes.
Here we go. Here we go. Go veer. Go veer. Gotcha.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Yes, we have our guest tonight, the very talented toy photographer, awesome human being, and the one who got Curtis to open his first AWOC figure, Steve Mank, aka Articulated Times. Welcome to the shelf, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
What's going on, man?
How are we tonight?
It's going excellent.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate having you. And me and you gotta have some words in a little bit, but I don't want to derail the show. I know we gotta go into shelf selections, but then we're gonna have a talk. So,
all right.
Yeah. This is shelf selections. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, Jesse and I picked some pictures out that we saw in the intranets this week that inspired us for each, because that's the rule from Jesse. I always try to slide somewhere in there if I can. So we'll see if I was able to do that tonight. And the first one that we've got, this is my selection. This is Pack Photos on Instagram. New Instagram that I found. And I've been seeing a lot of people start putting together these kind of classic JLA teams with some of the newer McFarlane releases. That Green Lantern there is brand new. The Nightfall Batman is fairly new. That Wonder Woman is from within the past year. Same thing with the Martian Manhunter. That Superman it looks like it's a kit bash that has like the maybe Superman 1000 head, the Action Comics 1000 head with the newer body. And then that Flash is one that I can't find anywhere. Like not even on eBay most times. So I got to try to get that one because it's more of like the smooth body Flash. And yeah, I need to get that one. But love this setup. I'm not sure that I would have probably done this with the microwave and the stove in the background, but hey, whatever works. It's a great team. Love what he's put together here. Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, maybe they're a realtor and they just carry those in their briefcase or something to set up just to kind of entertain themselves while they wait for folks to show up.
That would sell me on a house.
Yeah.
If I walk through a house and then I go in the kitchen and they got the Justice League set up on the counter, I'd be like, all right, where do I sign?
Yeah.
Pipes leaking? I don't care. Does the Superman stay here?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
No, this is again, like the photo in and of itself with the background isn't like, the most dynamic background, but it's a nice shot of the characters just lined up nice, neat, and clean. All those classic looks. I think I need to track down that Wonder Woman at some point. That's
there's actually a different version of that same Wonder Woman, a platinum edition that's more kind of the comic colors. This one has more of the metallic red. The other one's more of like a kind of cartoony comic red.
Okay.
I don't know which one I like better, but they're both really nice.
As long as the face paint is similar, that's good enough for me.
That's a great Wonder Woman. So
that's a great lineup. I have
definitely a great group shot. Yeah,
pretty much a version of this team, but with Aquaman and the other Green Lantern. Oh, why am I blanking on his name?
John Stewart. Yeah, I've kind of put together my own group. I'll have to get a picture, and actually I need to do a tour here soon because I've had stuff set up for a little bit. I need to do a tour, but I've got a group set up kind of in my head because I collected so much superpowers as a kid. Like it's that lineup from the superpowers. So I've kind of got my version of that in these. And I will say one more thing on this. I mentioned it on OffWorld after our, after party thing. That Batman is my favorite Batman now of all time. And I am a huge Mafex guy. Jesse knows this. Like, I love Mafex. But this Batman made me cancel my Mafex Nightfall. It is so good. The colors are perfect. That logo on the chest actually sticks up. You can rub your lips against it, and man, it is really nice. And that cape, it's got a real cool feel on that cape.
That feel good on your lips too.
Not as much, but it like two of my favorite versions of Batman all time are the Superpowers Batman, and then there's one that was called Pocket Heroes Mego figures. They were little tiny ones, and it had this like little rubber head and cape that were attached that you could pop off, and I would just always pop it off and put it back together. This cape kind of has that feel to it. So between that cape feel and the looks of the Superpower, like, yeah, this one hits me right in the member berries and is my new favorite Batman. So
now, correct me if I'm wrong. Are they starting to release soft goods cape? I think
they are on some of their figures. So, you know, these kind of more like in the line of like Superpowers ones, they're still doing these, but some of their newer figures, they are doing some soft goods. I know they have a Robin out there with one. They've got a new Batman that has a soft goods cape. So, yeah.
Like, I mean, not to hang
Rick,
up so much on.
You got a Pocket Heroes Batman? Nice. That's awesome. I'm trying to track one down right now. In fact, I put it on my Father's Day list for my kids. So we'll see.
Just the colors of this team and the fact like this feels like that kind of Super Friends era.
Yeah,
like just the bright colors, the fun of it. Like it makes me like I don't mind a gritty, realistic story, but like I like that the heroes in this image feel like bright, colorful heroes. Like
I hear the Justice League Unlimited tune in my head just looking at this, which, by the way, underrated song. I know it's not X-Men, you know, it's not the same, but Justice League Unlimited, good music. So next one is Jesse's pick.
So this is a snap from our buddy Dr. Grimlock is King over on Instagram. He's got the he's a little out of focus up here in front, but he's got our buddy Brian's Charbot right up there on the front left with some cosmic figures, with some looks like some fun head swaps going on. I just think this is a really cool like hodgepodge of mythics. Was it Halo? I don't know if that's I don't know what the helmet is on the red jet in the back. Kind of looks like Star-Lord, but
yeah,
or Ant-Man maybe with a light up head. I don't know what it is, but it looks cool. And I like the, you know, the kind of the tension set up of him waiting around the corner for these guys to come at him. So usually you see a lot more of like his custom work. So it was fun to see kind of an action shot or a scene shot from him.
Yeah, I like the lighting, the, you know, kind of hiding around the corner. Looks like maybe they accidentally made a noise or something, and this one is kind of turning and coming towards them, because you even see the one behind him. It looks like he's got his head turned. So I kind of, when I looked at this, I felt like, you know, maybe they accidentally stepped on a grate or something and made a little noise, and yeah, so it's about to go down. So yeah, great shot. I love the feel of it. The kind of blurriness on the right side and the focus here and you know, on the other side. So yeah, looks good.
Yeah, completely agree, Curtis. I love the depth of field with that. You know, it kind of blurred off in the background, main focus on our guy up front. Really, really stellar shot. I love that. I'm trying to think, where is that wall from though? Is that a dial he made? Or
I have no idea.
That looks good though. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, even that just kind of walkway and the thing on the far wall behind, like it's a cool setup, and it tells a story. That's ones that we always like, is when we kind of can tell a whole story with it.
And I love that there's some sort of source of light that's projecting that like grid pattern onto the far back wall behind the, you know, the, like, I think that's a really cool, however he did that. It's just a really cool shot.
Yeah, breaks it up a little bit so it's not just one solid color. Definitely, helps add with the depth.
You can almost hear like the synth or like the violins, like that real thin, reedy, like stretching it out, like the tension rising music, you know, like you said, because he kicked something or, you know, something crunched under his boot. But yeah, very fun shot.
All right, here's my next one.
Of course.
This has kind of been a regular on the show. This is our good friend Chris, aka War_Weasel_83 on Instagram. This is his giraffe version of his Battle Beast, which is now the new tallest Battle Beast in his collection.
Mhm.
It is taller than the troll elephant. It's taller than all the other ones. So, yeah, did a really good job on this. I especially love the weapon. Like it, that the Battle Beast weapons were just so weird, and I get that feel from this on the weapon that he put together there. So I'm not sure if that came from something or if he created that, but it's really cool. I like it a lot.
It looks like the ogre handle with like
Yeah.
a piece of metal, either a fake tree, like an
Mhm.
ornamental tree wedged into it, or an actual piece of like tree branch that was spray painted gold or something.
Yeah.
Looks solid, though.
That
Looks awesome.
that's really cool. I love that head sculpt. Is the head articulated on the neck? Like, is it two pieces?
I
Do you know?
I don't think it is up at the top. I think it's
Okay.
just at the base, maybe a little bit, but
Okay.
it looked like it was a little awkward to shoot, from the shots that he got. But
Okay. I mean,
it's a giant giraffe. So what are you gonna do?
yeah. Yeah. No, it's awesome. I
Yeah.
love that he's used the hooves and parts from I'm assuming from either one of the Equidrons or as a Hazar, and all the cosmic pieces. I love the use of the 1.0 pauldrons on like coming off the shoulder pads there. I think that's a really cool look to
Yeah,
get that.
you can
that
see a
more
little bit the Battle Beast down in the bottom of the
Mhm.
screen where it had these kind of pauldrons that were pointy and kind of went up like that. So it
Yeah.
does a good job of getting that overall silhouette from that.
Totally.
So yeah, good job.
Yeah. Now I want to see like someone do like a barbarian Jeffrey the giraffe from Toys R Us.
That would be amazing. That's what battle axe.
All right.
That's
Here's the
very
next
cool.
one from Jesse.
Oh, wow.
So this is from Jurassic Jesse. This one just cracked me up. One of my things that I do in my downtime, if I'm not getting into a show or want to spend the whole time watching a movie, I watch reaction people on YouTube where it's like specifically there's this one couple that do stuff, and I watched their Prey reaction recently. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, I just watched this reaction the other day. And so having that, like, I've never seen this figure, but I love that it's like got that translucent body that looks really good in the lighting here, to where it almost looks like it's phasing out like you would see in the movies, with like the blood all over, and it's coming out of like a stuffed bear with the that stuffing all over the place. It just cracks me up. And yes, it's a bear, and I'm laughing at a dead teddy bear. It's funny. I'm sorry. And the background is really cool, like the stars and the trees. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just from watching the Predator movies and kind of knowing that they, basically go from world to world and hunt down, their prey. What I get from this is that they landed on a world that has living stuffed animal creatures, and yeah, he's just taking one out. So
Cute and
it's
fluffy.
disturbing, but it's awesome at the same time. So
And
yeah.
it's such a fun juxtaposition. And like, I want to know what weapon the teddy bear was carrying.
It's a good question. Yep.
Super chat from Wholesome Warlock. Happy birthday, early birthday to Emil Wickman. Boom enabled. Write that down.
That counts. Okay. They got me. And this was Jurassic_Jesse on Instagram, by the way.
I did say that.
Yeah, just want to make sure people know. Cool. Anything else on this one, guys?
No, it looks phenomenal. It's great. I love the play, like you said, on the world of stuffed animals. I think that's a nice little twist on it.
Mm. All right. Next one is my pick. And this is Timothy Peake. We know him, longtime customizer of Mythic Legions. Now doing some custom work on some Savage Crucible stuff. On Instagram, it is Dharma_employee. And a couple pieces on this custom that I really wanted to call out. One was the wings there, which is from an old Motu Classics Drago Man. Just a really great job on the color transition from, the top of that to the bottom, where it goes from the red, then the transition color down into the purple. Just a beautiful job on those wings. And then on the waist piece here, like the leather work that he did on this, just making it look like authentic leather, really beautiful. So, I mean, super talented painter. And yeah, this was just a couple great parts of this custom that I was like, man, that's just fantabulous. So,
well, those wings look like they were made for that figure. Like the blending and the coloring on that is fantastic. And I love that blue and red fade on it. Is a really cool look. I'm trying not to look at the picture on the right too much because those thighs are just like, it's just making me so itchy. So props on the sculpt work for that. But that loin piece, that shot looks like something you would see on like, oh, this was like someone's costume from a movie and we have it on a life-size, mannequin. Like the detail on that is insane. So, massive props there.
The amount of customs I've just seen in a short amount of time of all these like slates and savages and everything just lend themselves so well to dry brushing. I mean, I've seen so many ones pop up that just look absolutely amazing. This is definitely among them. This is fantastic. And yeah, like you said, great use of parts with the wings, and then the leather looks so good.
Well, and even, like this is not just like on the loin piece. It's not just, one base color and then a dry brush of another. Like you can see there's also a different color on that kind of belt towards the top. And then there's like a tie, I guess, at the very top of it. And that's even a different color. So definitely mixing in some lighter and darker shades and even like the little threads that are going across it, like the stitching. It's just, there's a lot of depth and stuff to this where it really looks like actual leather. So Tim did a great job of bringing all those details out.
That stitching looks like it's actually holding it together. Like it feels like there's weight on it, That's really cool.
Yeah. Next one is one of Jesse's picks.
Oh,
okay. Wow. So I leaned into the humor pictures this week. I mean, the picture itself, I guess, isn't funny, but seeing Jar Jar as a badass is kind of funny. And this is from Kill Cutter Photo and Big Bad Toy Store. I don't know what Big Bad Toy Store had to do with it, but the gun throws me off a little just because it feels a little too, our world. But I love the coloring. I seeing Jar Jar just like manhandling the battle droid by the neck and, all the destroyed destroyers in the background. It's just a fun kind of what if. And I don't lean into the Jar Jar as a Sith. Like that doesn't do anything for me. But, if he could have been taken a little more seriously or at least grown into a serious character by the end of the movie, I think that would have been really cool. So I enjoyed the shot.
Yeah, he definitely snapped on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge Jar Jar hater, and like it just really is the worst part of those first three movies, in my opinion. But it would been cool if we had gotten a Jar Jar that did not talk and was a badass like this. I would have liked it because I have no problem with the design. It's just the stupid talk. So yeah, if he could have kept his mouth shut and fought like this is cool. I like this.
Like Jar Jar meets John Wick kind of feel maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could have like again, it would have had to have been more focused on him to make that payoff worthwhile. But that's a whole different show for another day. But it would have been cool to see him actually, lean into what he was and not just be the joke through, accidentally sending up, the Galactic Empire. And
yeah, this does have that feel of somebody that's been pushed too far and is finally just snapped. So
yeah, like he's got the right pose, he's got the right weapon. It's just you wouldn't expect to see Jar Jar in this picture, and but like he's in the right pose to like sell what it is if you can take your movie knowledge of him out.
Yeah,
and that's not to smash Ahmed best because he's great, and his role as
He did what they were telling him to do. So.
well, no, whatever he got to come back in, was it The Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett or whatever, to be the guy that rescued Grogu, and I know there's talks of him coming back in a game or something. I don't know. So like, good on him for getting to be appreciated by fans. So
No doubt. I love the atmosphere here too, as well, like the fog and everything. That looks
and
that
the
with
light
green
from
light.
above. Yeah.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yep. All right.
Misa Vesta Kappa.
Next one is one of my picks, and this is another one where I tried to shove into. All right.
You didn't try. You did. You did.
Don't tell Jesse. All right. But this is bear.blaze on Instagram, which is Blaze Bear in the Cabal, and just wanted to pull up a couple of his that I think he's just been. I mean, he just does so good, and I know we've talked about him on here before, but the matching on that red with the new red jets, and I don't know that it's fully coming out here because it almost looks a little bit more maroonish here. But on his Instagram and like on my phone, it definitely is that like bright red. But yeah, he nailed that color of that head. And then on the dwarf here, just so much great detail on the depth of that face, and then in the beard and hair and the mohawk. Like, man, he just is so dang good. It almost makes me sick. But yeah, just did a great job on both of these.
I love the red. That red on that helmet looks so freaking crisp, dude. And then with the mohawk over here on the dwarf head, that's fantastic detail.
Yeah, these are amazing. Like that helmet looks like it should be full like 1-to-1 scale. Like that does not look like a figure scale. It's just the detail and I don't have any of the red jets yet in hand to see, but I know that the color on it is one thing a lot of people have been talking about. So I'm excited to get to try to experiment with that. But it won't. I don't think I'll get mine to match that good.
I know. I typically start making my list of what have-tos I have for LegionsCon, and last year was definitely about a bunch of Arthas. I had to get the stable from Alexander Deshaw. Right now, the top of my list is getting a head or even a full custom from Blaze Bear, because his work is just phenomenal. I definitely got to get something this year. That's something missing in my collection. So
very cool. And yeah, the dwarf is just, it's such a great expression, and just all the right details hitting in the right way just bring it just to life so well.
For sure. And last one from Jesse.
So this is Matea _toy_photography. Obviously it's Rogue. It catches my attention, but because it's Rogue, but there's a behind the scenes shot. Well, before I get into that, it's just the landscape. You can it's hard to capture and really show speed and flight in photos, like without just looking like someone's just hovering in the air. Not that artists and photographers can't do it, but like this really sells. Like she is just booking through the desert at like high speeds.
Oh my goodness. I'm looking at the behind the scenes right now.
Yeah. So the behind the scenes, he's got the head and the hands removed from the body on separate like wires up in front. So that body has that like more distorted or, out of focus view to it. So the head and the hands are a little closer to the camera, but it's
doesn't look like the hands are, but the head definitely is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's some stuff is closer to the camera. So like it's one of those things like as soon as you turn to the side, it doesn't work, but straight on, it just really sells this speed and the action of it. I think it's really cool. Even the way the light kind of feels curved through the dust and everything is just it just really grabbed me. I mean, if this had been Superman, it probably would have grabbed my attention too, but like the green and yellow caught my eye. So
yeah, and it's so weird. Like you look at the side view of this before he takes the shot and stuff, and it's like, what the heck are you doing, man?
Yeah.
But then you get to the right perspective in front to where it looks like the head is attached, and it really pulls it all together. Man, Man, that is really cool. I would have never even thought of that. That's wild.
Yeah, Matea is a top-notch toy photographer. He has had some very, very impressive photos. I mean, he makes all this stuff look effortless. I'm sure it took a lot of time with that, but I mean, like just going through it real quick. I mean, that would be pretty time-consuming doing all those wires to hold it just right and get it in just the perfect perspective. And man, yeah, he nailed it.
Yeah, totally. Whew, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Beautiful work. All right, that is it for shelf selections, but we do have one more thing that we wanted to try to touch on. Last week, we had mentioned this. Brian Lynn has got a thing going on in the Cabal right now. We've had it for the last couple of years with this Adventure Party thing. Currently, we're doing Adventure Party 24. So if you're in the Cabal, basically you just put your group together that you would like to see it. You kind of mix it up and just have some fun with it. And then post it with the hashtag Adventure Party 24. He has also put on here that there's actually a prize component to this. So one person's going to randomly be drawn to win a mystery care package from Carver Customs. And, talking to him today, he said that at least one of the items is going to be something that's never been seen yet. And it's a LegionsCon early release item. So should be pretty cool. I mean, Brian does some great stuff. So, and on top of that, it's just fun. So have some fun, put your team together, take a photo and throw it up in the Cabal. And so Jesse and I challenged ourselves today to do one of these. And I want to show you ours now. So the first one is my group. And just tried to mix it up a little bit. I kind of had Dubon as kind of my ranged attack. I've got Faunus there. I kind of envision Faunus as kind of a healer. Maybe that's my Druid World of Warcraft background. I've got Queen Urxa as my leader. Obviously, you've got Snag as your thief, and then for my kind of tankery, bruisier guys, I got Torgan, and then I got Archimedes souped up with a little bit of fur. I tried to keep it to mythic characters, not like full customs. Obviously, I've done some work on a few of these, but I tried to keep it to that. So that is my party, and I'll be posting that either later tonight or tomorrow. And then this is Jesse's that he put together. Jesse, you want to talk about yours?
Yeah. So talking about bad photography. So I kind of whipped this team together real quick. I'd been thinking about it for a couple of weeks, but I was Curtis kind of threw me on the spot to Curtis challenged me to do mine today. But I'd been thinking about this team for a while. So the only full as is figure here is Tharnog, the orc, shaman druid character. And I just, again, I'm picturing him in D&D role as a druid. So he's like wild shaping, turning into animals with some healing and stuff. On the far right, you've got the female Jesselyn, Abigail. I imagine her as like also kind of like more specific, like a healer support role. In the front middle is, I mean, that's just straight up the Guinevere from Hasbro. But the halfling rogue is the first character I played in a D&D campaign that lasted about 8 years. So I made a custom of him out of a Maz Kanata and a Avatar The Last Airbender figure to make my halfling rogue. Then I've got I'm blanking on her name right now. My female goblin archer with Wolf King parts and some McFarlane parts.
Well, the part name is Luna.
Yeah,
I don't know
the head is Luna. I have a different name for her, but she's kind of my ranger, ranged attack character. On the left is one of my newest, kind of the swordsman. So he's kind of got like that charisma bard vibe in my mind. He's not a bard, but he's that kind of like playful, fun character. In the sub-nose monkey, and then in the back is my Daru, he's my barbarian like lion figure, bringing on the muscle and kind of brute force. So that is my Adventure Party 24 hashtag.
So there you
Very, very
go.
cool.
Folks, put together your team, take a quick shot, throw it up in the cabal. You've got till the end of June. Hashtag Adventure Party 24. Let's have some fun with this.
Yes.
Because these are toys and they're supposed to be fun. So let's have some fun.
Yeah.
So
And then Curtis, one thing on your setup, you had Faunus in yours. Are those
Mhm.
custom pauldrons that he's got on?
Those pauldrons, I believe, were pieces from my action figure customs
Okay.
that I got right before they closed down. I think that was in the final sale that I grabbed those.
They look
Um,
cool. They look really good with him.
Yeah, and Faunus is one of those. I don't know what it is about, and I've talked to several others that have done the same, but Faunus is one of those pieces that a lot of customizers, when they get him in hand, they just got to repaint that head, and it's nothing wrong with the head that they painted, but it's got so much detail to it that like you see it and you're like, oh man, I want to put a paintbrush to this. It's just like the experience of painting it is, and so yeah, that one's a lot of fun.
Yeah, all the nooks and crannies definitely with that because they had different
Mhm.
shades on there. But yeah, you throw a few washers on that, that would really pop for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. All right. So let me
We got
remove
a
that.
we got a super chat from our friend Dr. Grimlock is King. Thank you so much for the kind words and for the share. You are very welcome. Thanks for continuing to put out awesome stuff. And
Yeah.
being such a cool person.
Great shot.
Yeah, my head is getting itchy
And
from this hat, but I cannot
let
take
us
it off.
know what head was on that red jet. My money is
Oh,
on
yeah.
Star-Lord, but yeah, let us know. I could also see maybe Ultron. I don't know. Let us know. All right, Steve,
What is happening?
been waiting to talk to you
All right.
since MosquitoCon.
Uh-oh.
Um,
I don't know what's about to happen. I'm sorry, Steve.
A lot of pent up frustration, probably.
yeah, I mean, we had this like really nice get together, Mythic meetup. It was great, great vibe in the room. People, loving being around each other, and got to hear about the photo book for the first time and all this and that. Just having really good vibes. And then I walk out of the room. I'm getting ready to head back up to my room, and I just get tackled. I mean, just tripped, tackled. Guy's holding me down, and he's just saying, hey, you're gonna take this AWOG. I don't care what you say. And I'm like, no, don't, I don't want it. I can't get into another line. He's like, no, you're taking it, and just shoves it in my hands, and then he runs off. He didn't say shooting the shelf sent him, but he did run off. And it was Steve, and he gave me my first AWOG figure. And by gosh, if I didn't play with that the next day and have just a ton of fun with this thing. So yeah, another line that I've gotta get figures
he was
for. So
ignoring people that would come up to the table to talk to him. He's like, go away, I'm playing with my monkey.
Yeah. You see what I'm doing? See?
hey,
But
the only
he
thing I
was
was selling there was Darla's capes. You're gonna get me in trouble.
No,
She's gonna be
no,
like, you
I'm
were
kidding.
ignoring my capes.
No, Curtis was manning the table, as you would expect, a well, a good salesman would. But when no one was standing there, he was fiddling with that thing all day. It was great. It made me very happy.
those characters are just a lot of fun. I mean, honestly, they're hyper articulated, and again, for the price point of what it is, you get a lot in there. You can do like what we're talking about for customizing and everything like that. You could pop off the armor, swap it out with other characters. It definitely lends itself to a lot of playability for sure. And again, it's something I really enjoy, and I kind of want more people to enjoy it too. It's one of those things where that line, they've had 2 successful Kickstarters, and I feel like that is just a top notch toy company. They've been really good to me with everything, and just more people need to get those guys in hand for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's never going to be one that I'm all in on. I don't have the space for it.
Yeah.
Plus the whole thing doesn't speak to me, but there's certain characters that definitely do. So this last Kickstarter, there's like the dog with the cigar. Had to get that. That's like total Lobo vibes for me. So I had to pick up that one. You've got like the fox with the robotic arm, the cybernetic arm. Had to pick up those because I think both of those I could slide into Cosmic really easily. And then the bunny character, I had to pick that up because I think that'll fit right into the flock. So,
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
yeah. So I'm, like I said, I'm never going to be all in on it, but I think the articulation is cool. They're fun figures, and definitely will pick up some here and there to try to mix in with my Legions. So
yeah, and I know there's some folks that it's a little bit more like cartoony characters, and yeah, that's true. I have seen people really do some cool customs with those, like even that pale that you have there, just doing like a darker wash on that really pops out all the sculpt work. I've even seen people using like Savage Crucible, the weapons packs or like the Huntsman pack to do like kind of spruce it up, make it more look, even more real, kind of vibe with that.
Totally.
Yeah, I got one of the blanks to custom, and I made it into one of the characters from my book, and had it at my table at LegionsCon last year. And like it, not that there's anything wrong with the sculpt, but like the color, like the paint, as is, don't blend, smoothly into the Legions aesthetic.
Right.
But the repaint I did, I mean, it looks like any of my other customs, at least for me. So yeah, they're really fun. And looks like we got an answer from Grimlock. Dr. Grimlock, excuse me. Red Jet was the value Cyber Skull from Wolf King Customs. The back alien was a value alien from Wolf King Customs, and a Halo head. The Halo head was from the Jazzwares Master Chief.
Oh, cool. So that one that we were talking about is one that he painted up then. So awesome.
That was a Wolf King head. The two ones in the back were Wolf King heads.
I did want to pull this one up. Sorry, Steve, but I got this might be the highlight of my weekend. Joe Gonzalez says that we had acceptable party composition. And that really means a lot because I know Joe may seem like a nice guy, but he's a D&D snob. And for him to say that we had acceptable party composition, that's impressive. So Jesse, we did good on our adventure parties.
Cool.
We got the Joe blessing of approval. So
we did. I mean, acceptable. I'll take it. I don't want to push for a better. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's about as good as we were gonna get. So
I mean, I was gonna put all fuzz monks like I did on the first year, but
all right. So Steve, I was I know we've got a lot to talk about, but I was admiring the Batmans behind you before the show and kind of talking to you about it. Is that something that has been a kind of staple for you throughout your life, or is that something that's relatively newer?
I've been collecting Prime 1 probably since 2017 or 18. Initially at first I was like, I'm just gonna get one, it's the Dark Knight Returns. I really dig that storyline with everything. And then not too long after that, then they have the Nightmare Batman. Flashpoint Batman, I'm sorry. And I'm like, man, that looks really cool with the guns. Oh, and he's got a sword too. Okay, let me. And then it just kind of started snowballing from there. And then not too long after that, it was the Hush Batman over here in the corner up on the gargoyle. And yeah, man, I've been a Batman fan for a long time. Like there's periods in time where I maybe didn't collect as much, but pretty much Batman has been pretty consistent for me, whether it be comics or comic artwork that I've been collecting.
Gotcha.
Very cool.
What about your favorite Batman actor or Batman series so far? What was your favorite one?
I mean, like most of us, most of my age bracket, I would say the Keaton Batman is definitely one that I remember fondly. Him and like Adam West, but like I would even say like even the Christian Bale one, I really really dug that, kind of showing like the origin story. Where a lot of them, a lot of the Batman's like, okay, he's already Batman, there it is. But showing the origin, like with the Christian Bale one, I thought was really neat, really a nice touch. The Battison one, I like that one. It's dark, it's raining like all the time in Gotham in that one, but it's gritty, and I dig that, the wear and tear on the suit. It looked very like militant almost. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, that 3 hours for a movie was a bit long, but no.
Yeah, I enjoyed that movie, but it didn't feel like a Batman movie. It felt like kind of it kind of felt like the movie Seven or something. Like it was like a cop movie or something. But it just happened to have Batman in the starring role. But it's a good movie. It's just it doesn't have as much of that Batman vibe for me.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Seven because very gritty on that, very kind of the
Mhm.
same light work and everything. And if I'm not mistaken, in that movie, the same like cinematographer was the same guy that did Mandalorian as well too, Mandalorian and Dune. So like some of the light work
Mhm.
and everything like that, I mean, definitely popped. Like especially when they're on like the city skyline and stuff like that.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm gonna go out
Yeah,
and say it. Not that you
Trevor
guys were.
says, Batman is a detective. Yes, but he's not like Flash the Badge detective. Like it you know,
Hit him
it
hard.
yeah, it felt like that. But anyway, sorry, Jesse.
I love the Keaton one. It's got that nostalgia sweet spot for me, but I have to say the Pattinson one is my favorite of the movies since then.
Hmm.
Because what you're talking about not feeling like a Batman movie is how I feel about all the Christian Bale movies. I liked Begins and like the portrayal of like the origin,
Right.
but the more I think about them, like these are just suspense thrillers with a guy in a Batman suit. Like I liked that they pushed. I felt like the Pattinson one, or is it Matt Reeves directed it? Pushed it into a little bit further out of the real world. Yes, it's dark and feels like Seven. I agree with that. But like there was just enough of like the weird with like the Penguin Club and like some of that stuff. It felt more comic like to me than the Bale ones.
I still say probably one of my favorite scenes from that. Like he's in the dark hallway, and all of a sudden, like the muzzle flashes are like lighting up the room, and he's beating them up as it's going on in like different positions. I thought that was probably one of the coolest bits from that movie.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I think doesn't get enough attention or enough credit, because it seems like people shit on it a lot, but Tom Hardy as Bane, like I get it. I get the, people maybe are annoyed by the voice, or, he's not the kind of what they were expecting from the comics, where he doesn't get all, juiced up and bulky and all this kind of stuff. But I thought his performance was awesome. Like it may not be the Bane you were expecting from the comics, but I think he did an amazing job in that role. I absolutely love him in that last movie. So
it was definitely very good. Like it's way better than what we got. What was it in Batman and Robin, or was it Batman Forever? Like
yeah,
Bane was this great big character. They just disposed of him like so quickly with everything. He's a juiced up guy, and like he's already beaten and done with. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not what I was expecting. As all like as a kid, I'm like, I can't wait for him to be in the movies, and like that's what we got. And like in the '90s, I'm like, well, that's a big letdown. So
yeah.
I'll say, to be fair, the Nolan Batman movies are supreme pieces of cinema. Like I think they are fantastic movies. The acting is great. The only real gripe I have is just the all out like broad daylight, like military charge of the police. Like it feels cool, but it just, to me, the broad daylight march against Bane in that last movie just felt so
well, I felt like it was a
nice,
little
Trevor.
rushed too. Yeah. Like it was one of those things where, okay, he just had his back broken, and like what, a month goes by, if that, maybe a few weeks, whatever. And
Yeah.
like now he's up on his feet fighting and like in top form again. I'm like, it was a little rushed, but yeah, they needed a final ending there.
Yeah.
My biggest gripe about the Bale ones, and it's so nitpicky stupid, but I just can't get over it. It's like the more roundish opening on the mask. Like
Yeah.
it just is so weird. Like I'm so used to, in every other iteration that we've gotten, even the comics and everything, like it's like this, it's squared
Right.
on the mask, and his is like round, and it's just, I don't know, it's just this weird vibe that I get from it. I'm like, I just don't like it.
And it's like pouty lips too.
Like the new
Like
Wolverine
sometimes, like even like if you get some of the Hot Toys ones, like they'll have like the swappable bottom plate, and they'll be kind of almost like pouty lips. I'm like, is he mad? Is he trying to kiss somebody? I don't know.
Like one of those ski masks that has the circle in the middle, like for your mouth. Like it's like this is just not. Yeah,
it's like the new Wolverine popcorn bucket.
Yeah, it's very much like that, Jesse.
I haven't seen that one. What's that?
You'll have to Google that afterwards. But there's a new popcorn bucket for the Wolverine Deadpool, and there's a commercial for, not a commercial, but there's like a little video that Ryan Reynolds did, and it's disturbing but hilarious. So
I mean, is it like the Dune 2 bucket? Because that was different. That caught
kind
around.
of, it's like an open mouth Wolverine, but there's like a video with like butter dripping down the head of Wolverine and stuff, and yeah, it's so
I may or may not be sending it to your Instagram messenger.
Oh, thank you.
Gotcha. So speaking of your Instagram, so for people that aren't in the know, at articulated_times on Instagram, tell us a little bit about your channel, what you've done on there.
So yeah, basically I've been doing toy photography / news since 2017. It initially started off as I was doing just some shots of Marvel Legends and maybe doing like some posts about like upcoming figures, you know, Mafex, Rebel Tech, that kind of stuff, Mezco as well. And then I kind of started diving a little bit deeper into just doing more toy photography with everything, and just been really enamored with that since then. At first, it kind of bounced around where I was doing strictly like import stuff, like you know, Mezco or like Mafex and stuff like that, or Rebel Tech, and you know, just kind of progressed from there. Where I was kind of at one point just kind of doing too much stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it was almost like, okay, where is the drive? Where is the certain lane I want to be in with everything? Um, and so it was probably 2021 ish or so. I took a big break with everything. I was just really kind of a little just kind of frustrated. Like I didn't know what the direction I was going to do with what I'm doing with toy photography. I didn't really have much of a focus, I guess. I was kind of trying to do too much of everything instead of focusing on one thing in particular, you know, and doing that well. And in that time, you know, I mean, I've been in the cabal since 2018. Didn't really post a lot in those early years with everything because I was in all the other toy groups with everything. So trying to keep up with all that was a little bit of a chore, you know, to make sure I'm in all places. But anyway, so 2021 hits, and I'm seeing a lot of the photos from LegionsCon. So that was like around November or so that year, and I'm like, man, this is really cool stuff. Like I had bought a few figures probably 2018, 2019. I think like Brother Mandiblus was my first figure that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I took a few photos outside. I'm like, man, these really look good outside. Like I up until that point, I didn't do hardly any toy photography outside at all. Everything was on my desk, you know, maybe some horrible lighting, maybe a construction background kind of thing, maybe a diorama. But as I was you know, in 2021, I was kind of seeing like, man, this stuff is really cool. And I was seeing how much fun people were having at LegionsCon, like, you know, with the Sir Gerard. And I'm like, dang, I really need to dive into this because at that point I was so over Mezco, I was so over all the other lines. You know, everything was so oversaturated, and Mezco was just what years behind. You know, the Keaton Batman, I waited 3 years for that, and I'm just like, I'm not waiting anymore on this stuff. So I really kind of cut ties with a lot of that, and you know, with COVID, things got pushed back. You know, I understand that, but I feel like that was right around the time when Alithia Wave was coming out, if I'm not mistaken. And so I was kind of, you know, all right, I'm going to pick up a few more, and just kind of really fell harder into the line with everything. And that was my main focus with everything. So um, I've been doing strictly, well, pretty much the majority of my photography lately has been Mythic Legions, with a few exceptions here and there, but just been absolutely enjoying it. And, you know, like, going back to what we're talking about LegionsCon and everything like that, at 21, I'm like, you know what? I want to make sure I get to LegionsCon. And 2022 was the first year I ended up going to LegionsCon. And that even solidified more that I was making the right decision to dive deeper into the line with everything. Just, man, I don't think I've ever had a bad experience at LegionsCon, like ever. Like everybody I've been in line with, you know, we become friends, you know, I was with Carlos, the Badass Reviews, Jorge from Thundercat Classics, Chris James. You know, that was who I was hanging out with that first day in line. And man, it made that 4-hour wait. We got there 4 or 5 in the morning that first time, and it flew by. You know what I mean? And it's still people I keep up with today. You know, just a lot of good stuff. And with that, so I just was like, man, I'm just going to focus more and more on Mythic Legions with everything. And at that time, I was kind of finding some more spots outdoors. Curtis, you're around the St. Louis area. In
Mhm.
South County, there's a place called Powder Valley, and there's a
Okay.
little nature reserve. And just outside of that, there's like some big, like, not concrete, big stone bluffs and everything like that. So
Mhm.
really lended itself to a good backdrop for photography. And also at that same token too, it was right around that spot where it's like when sunset hits, it hits right over the rocks and everything like that. Sets a really good scene. And I'm just like, man, I just want to shoot more and more of this stuff. And then, obviously subsequent waves keep coming out. And I'm like, man, I got to pick up all of this.
Yeah. I love we've had quite a few nature shots as our shelf selections on the show, and they're just, I don't know, there's something fun about having kind of those outdoors shots. I know one of my favorites of yours, and I think it's on your pinned on your Instagram. It's the Krotos, like in the the wheat or whatever. It's got very much the a gladiator vibe, like when he's
Yeah.
kind of walking through. Yeah. So where was that one? Because I'm sorry for those watching. I know this is not going to probably relate to you, but we're relatively the same area. So I was just kind of wondering where that was shot.
That one was a little bit further east. Every Labor Day weekend, me and my family would go to Santa Claus, Indiana, and
Okay.
it's where Holiday World is at, right?
Yeah.
And just down the road from there, it's a very small town. It's like the amusement park, a small grocery, and then like they call it Santa's cottages, right? We
Mhm.
usually rent out a cabin. It's all Christmas themed. But yeah, they have a big open field just in front of where all the cottages are at. And it was like I literally took that. That was probably the quickest photo I think I've ever taken. Took me about 20, 30 seconds to set up
Yeah.
and then a few minutes of post. But it was literally like the last little bit of daylight, and then the sun went away. And I mean, I could not have gotten luckier with that shot just
Oh,
because how
it's
it turned out well.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll
Favorite.
pull those pictures up in a moment, but since we were talking about your Instagram, if that's okay.
Yeah.
But since we were just talking about LegionsCon and all that, and you've been the last 2 years consecutively, right?
Yep.
And are you all set to go this year?
Yeah, this year it's actually a little bit different role for me. Instead of getting up waiting in line for everything, I'm actually going to be a retailer this year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm set up. I was hoping for getting in the main room, but I am very happy to be in the hallway, just to even be participating with the convention. Like I said, I've never had a bad experience with LegionsCon. I feel like that's probably one of the tightest knit conventions run. Like
Mhm.
when I went in 22, like again, that was when I was in a creative drought, and I remember I hadn't taken any photos for a while, and I remember going there and being in LegionsCon really kind of relit that creative vibe for
Oh,
me.
that's cool.
So there was like seeing all the custom work, all the dioramas, all that stuff. There was so much creativity in that room. It's just like, whoa, I need to definitely get back into this. And obviously I stocked up like that. I think there might be on the Cabal. There was a photo I did the first day of everything I bought, and
Mhm.
mind you, I only had like 2 suitcases, right? And I had an entire shelf full, maybe halfway up the wall, and then like just stuff all over the front. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna fit all of this back in my suitcases. Like it got to the point where I was lucky enough to have an extra box, and I ended up
Mhm.
just like taping this whole thing up and checking that as a piece of luggage, just because again I couldn't fit anything else. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I don't know, I overbought. I'm like, am I gonna have to sell at the show? I'm like, I can't do that. But then it's like, okay, well, I'm just starting to open up, and it was a game of Tetris, is really what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. I
Very
mean, you just got to drive like me. I mean, you're closer than I am. So, yeah,
Yeah. Well,
it
this
is
year
quite the
definitely.
drive though.
Yeah, it's I think 13 hours I think for the drive, if I'm not mistaken, something like
It,
that.
for me, it says like 14 and a half, but it ends up being close. I mean, even best case scenario, it's like 17, but with
Mhm.
like gas and, just stretching your legs and stuff. But I think coming back last year, I think it took like 21 hours.
Oh,
So yeah, it's a
yeah,
trek for sure.
yeah. So this year, I don't have any type of like storage van or anything like that. I'm just loading up whatever I have in the back of my car and
Mhm.
my SUV, and just me and my wife are we're making the trip with everything. So we were hoping to do get the intern for a day. That would have been really cool. But I think logistically wise, now that we have the booth or the table at the show, I think we'll be driving, and we'll probably get in maybe late Wednesday, maybe early Thursday kind of thing. So maybe.
Okay.
She gonna help you running the table and stuff too?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So in that time since this year has started, I've actually opened up a business as well too. So I'm Articulated Empire .com. So I pretty much sell a lot of mythic related figures. So AWOC, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, Mythic Legion, Savage Crucible. So I've been doing a lot of that, and we've been doing a lot of local toy shows, or actually a lot of different states. So we've got one in Springfield, Illinois, and then I have another one coming up in like Peoria, and then there's
Mhm.
another few in like Ohio that I'm doing. But yeah, LegionsCon is the going to be the icing on the cake. That's the furthest one I'm driving to. So, but
Do
yeah,
you
she's been
ever
helping
do
me out with
the Toy Man shows here
you
in
know
St. Louis?
years ago I did years
Yeah.
ago, probably about 10 years ago. But again, it's the point where that one, it's a great show. It's very crowded.
Hmm.
So you're maybe lucky to get a table, maybe two.
Yeah.
The amount of stuff I have, I definitely need quite the space with everything to have it all out.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm definitely working with that one. And then there's another guy that kind of does a circuit around the Midwest. It's called QuadCon.
Okay.
And so he'll do Davenport. He's running the one in Springfield, one in Peoria. He'll go all the way up to Wisconsin with that. So and I feel like, man, there's a few other ones. In St. Charles. Yeah, he did one in St. Charles back in March that I did. That was
Okay.
my first one back.
That's cool.
But
Very
yeah,
cool.
she's been a huge help. She's very creative on her own, right? Before this, she did a lot of scrapbooking, a lot of customization, like custom T-shirts, stuff like that. Now she's making like mugs, stickers, all that stuff. So usually when I'm doing an order, the stickers we make those in house and everything like that, and I'll throw a few in the box, kind of thing.
Oh,
But
that's cool.
yeah, she's super creative and she's been super helpful. Very, very
Yeah,
helpful.
that was going to be my advice as a first time vendor is just make sure you have some sort of plan for somebody to watch your booth so you can at least stretch your legs and go around and see some things. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it's rough if you don't get to see any of the con and you're stuck at your booth the whole time. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like that was the nice thing about attending. Is like you get there first grab. Yeah, you got to get up a little bit early for that kind of stuff. But
mm,
there's so much going on in that room and just so much talent, dude.
oh
It's
yeah,
insane. Yeah. So I'm eager to see how the layout's going to be because from what I'm hearing, the LegionsCon table isn't that well the Horseman table is not even going to be in the main room anymore. It's going to be
correct.
off where the stock room is at. So that's going to open up quite a bit, I would think. So.
Yeah, I think pretty much that whole area that the Horsemen were taking up last year is going to be kind of that new block, which is like the Toy Forge and Euro Legions and Detour and I think Mythic Bits. Like they've got like a whole island section over there basically that they're taking up. So a lot of great artists, which just it just kind of opens up for more vendor booths and stuff in there. And like you said, I mean, just so much talent in that room.
Yeah.
And
It's like going to an art exhibit, but an art exhibit for us with toys. It's instead of like oil paintings and stuff. So
Yeah, it's like
I think
go ahead.
I was gonna say I think it's cool that having them in that other side room where the offshoot room was last year or the overflow room, whatever they called it. And I'm not trying to be dismissive of it, but where the Cabal table was and
mm,
like Trollhead Studios and a bunch of other folks over there, the Malignancy, um, by moving them in there, that's gonna I think that's gonna help with traffic in the hallway or flow
Right.
for the people out in
mm,
the hallway because you're gonna have to walk past all those people to get to the Horseman or from the Horseman to the big room. So I think it sounds like they're shape. I mean, those guys know how to run a show.
Oh,
mhm.
So
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. And I think that hallway, like when they had for like the Horseman table, how it kind of like wrapped down to like a dead end and horseshoe back. I feel like they're going to have people. I think that's where they said they're going to have the exclusive table, if I'm not mistaken, back over in that corner. So definitely driving everybody right down towards that far end with everything. So you're
it's like
going to have to walk by everybody.
it's like
Yeah,
putting
and I
milk in
mean,
the back of the store.
That's
I
right.
mean, people are gonna have to kind of decide like where's the first spot I want to go, because there's gonna be several different lines, and it's like, okay, do I want to line up for the exclusives, or do I want to line up for the horseman table, or do I want to line up to get into the vendor spot? And if I go into the vendor hall, like which side am I starting with? Like there's just, you gotta start somewhere, and so it helps kind of, at least kind of have a little bit of idea in your head, like which things are your have-tos that you definitely need to visit. Because I think it was Dorklayer saying that if you spent like 10 or 15 minutes at every single table, you wouldn't be able to make it through all the tables throughout the weekend. So, you got to really make sure that kind of which ones are your have-tos, and give yourself enough time. So
yeah, the past few years, I'd always try to get to Noah Pratt's table, anything posable. Like I always buy a full custom from him. His stuff is always top notch. And there was one me and Carlos were both looking at. We're like, all right, we're gonna try to make a play for it. Like, because we were 2 or 3 in line. 3 or 4. Try to get right there, and it sold literally before I got to the table. So it was like that's minutes after the show had opened, just minutes. And I'm like, oh my god, I felt so defeated. But I still picked up some good stuff from Noah, so I was still happy. So
that's awesome.
Well, unless we got something else to talk about LegionsCon this year. Well, yeah. Let's do this real quick.
I did want to pull up. There was a comment from Chris. He said that 22 was also his first LegionsCon. Mine as well. So yeah, I mean, and there's obviously new people showing up for the first time each year and just experiencing it for the first time. This is going to be, really a first for them, where it's the same location 2 years in a row. And I'm excited to see what that brings, because now they've got, a year under their belt with of a relationship built up with that hotel, which I think is going to, because of how well we handled things last year, just as a fan base, I think that maybe opens up some other doors for them. And then also it gives them ideas based on how things ran last year on how they can make things better. So it should be interesting this year, seeing them at the same venue 2 years in a row. So
last year's LegionsCon, I mean, we pretty much overtook that whole lobby, and each night it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And I think was that Friday night there was like a wedding party that was also coming in as well too. So there was even more people on top of that. So, but I mean, I feel like that was a fantastic space. And like down the hall where I guess where the exclusive table was at, they even had like people overflowing in that area. So they had tons of room for people to kind of space out, so you didn't feel like you were right there on top of one another. But yeah, I felt like that's a great location, and that Irish pub right there, oh, so good.
Yeah,
food was good.
Not good for you, but it tastes great. So.
One of my favorite moments from this past year's LegionsCon was the wedding party walking in, and we're all like just filled in the lobby. And I started like clapping for it, like just like a slow clap, and then everybody in the lobby was clapping for and then you could see like the bride like started blushing and stuff. Like it was just a cool moment for them. I mean, imagine having that story to tell, that you walk into this hotel and this whole lobby full of people, you have no idea who they are, just start cheering for you for no reason. So,
which makes me all the more grateful that there are so many, wives and partners that come and late Legions ladies that are part of this community. So it wasn't just a room full of big bearded dudes clapping for the bride.
That's true. That's true. I didn't think of it that way, Jesse.
But man, that's a fantastic location. So I hope they keep that location as long as they can. That's Whippany, right? Whippany, something like that.
Whippany, yeah. The only thing I don't like about it is how I just don't like New Jersey driving. Like it's just so, like you pull out of somewhere and you're immediately like on a highway, basically. Like it's like you make a turn out of a location and you got to be doing 55 immediately, or somebody's going to kill you.
You're in this like nice quiet little neighborhood, and next thing you know, it's like 65 and there's tractor trailers like mowing you down.
Yeah, you pull into a gas station, which by the way, can't pump your own gas. You got to remember that, because they will yell at you if you try to do that. And then you pull out and it's like you're leaving a gas station and you got to immediately get to 65, otherwise you're done.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Ubers pretty much everywhere we went last year, because we flew in, and Man, everybody had a lead foot. I swear, I was getting so car sick with that, just like because they're whipping in and out of traffic,
Oh
and
man,
like,
they don't care. Like
oh, not at all.
they don't wait for an opening; they make openings.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Playing on the horn. I mean, I was never so car sick in my life. We're making it. We're hustling to the airport after LegionsCon, and it was one of those things. I'm like, I don't know if I want to make this. Like, and luckily we made it. But man, it was the point where I'm like, I need to have this guy pull over or something. So
yeah, it's an interesting tactic to driving for sure.
Yeah.
You've heard of defensive driving; they're definitely offensive drivers. So
very much.
Offensive driver.
yeah, maybe that.
Well, I would say I encourage you to keep trying for intern, because if you do get a chance to go to that, it's definitely worth it.
So much fun.
Yeah, everybody I've talked to, it looks amazing just from like Nolan collects. He was
That's
there last
funny.
year. All right, I can see that.
I want to see that. I want to see that on like a patch. Like I deliver stuff at my work sometime too. We have this place called the Pennsylvania Gaming Commission. So, you know, they give out like the hunting license and all that stuff over, you know, and they've got like patches like, you know, duck hunting season, you know, 2024, you know, they got, you know, all these commemorative things. So now I just want to see like a New Jersey one, really nice embroidered patch, but it's like someone flipping the bird.
Put that on your hat or something.
With like,
that'd be snazzy.
with like some like laurel leaves like coming up around the bottom, you know, like all nice.
Yeah, really fancy it up.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, you want to pull up Steve's Instagram and let's take a look at some of that.
Instagram, and I've got a picture loaded because I was just scrolling down and this one really kind of stopped me in my tracks. And well, then I'll scroll up to the top and look at that Krotos when you were talking about Curtis, but
yeah. That one was so again, so this is that right outside Powder Valley. So there is the main road that goes right in front of it. It goes over 270.
Mm-hmm.
And the sun is coming down right there. So this is probably 6 or 7 o'clock at night. I want to say this was last March. I think I did this. Did I say? Oh, June. Oh, dang.
It's posted June 18th, according to Instagram.
You're right. But yeah, so I would have filmed it right around that time. So yeah, but trying to get this one just right with everything. I was hoping. I just love how the limbs flare right over the front of the horse's nose with everything. That's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
No editing with that one.
Yeah.
Maybe a color touch with that, if anything. But I absolutely love that Red Sonja figure, and it breaks my heart because I want to shoot her more, but I can't find. I had like her little baggie of accessories. Can't find it.
Wow.
Yeah. So like the sword, all the daggers, all that stuff. I'm like, man, I want to shoot that one so bad. But I feel like this. I have one other one where she's with the horse. I think maybe a day or two after this, but like right next to like the like a lake or stream or something like that. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So that is right next to Powder Valley. There's another little park just down on the hill. This is closer towards like the river area, but every so often like there's little creeks and streams in there, and I just felt like this one just worked out really, really well. And for the most part, it's like a puddle behind it, but I threw a rock into the puddle, so it kind of caused a little bit of ripples.
Oh, nice. That's fun.
Oh, that's great.
I've seen some people with this figure actually hit it with some matte clear coat just to kind of take a little bit of the glossiness off of it. But it's a great figure. It seems like it works really well with that mythic horse.
Yeah. I want to get this one. I want to take some more photos with this one. But they have the same company is making Death Dealer, right? Did I see that correctly?
I'm not sure.
Loose Collectibles? I want to say they're making, they're making a Death Dealer, and it's coming with their own virtual horse. Yeah,
with his that big horse. Yeah.
So when that comes out, I'm definitely going to be shooting that because there's that Noah Pratt. I picked up. That was my first LegionsCon custom I got from Noah Pratt there.
Which one?
Okay,
the skeleton right there.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, all the rust work and everything, making it really look really weathered and aged. Oh man, it looks fantastic.
All right.
The thing I really like about that first picture we looked at is that like you can't move the sun, right? So you got to get your timing just right to get it into that position. And so, I don't know if it just, you know, like you said with this one, like you just kind of set up and it was perfect and things worked out. Or if there's times where you're having to wait for the sun to get in the right position for you.
So yeah, that the sun, it can be, that's one of the downfalls of shooting outdoors. Like you might have the picture perfect angle, pose, all that stuff, but okay, now the sun's coming through, but now okay, well maybe the tree branch is blocking the sun a little bit, so maybe I got a few seconds here, then the tree branch moves again, so it's going
Right.
in and out. So I'm having to tinker with my settings on my camera. So kind of controlling the light can be kind of a pain in the butt, but I would also be remiss too when we're talking about Mythic Legion shots and everything. The Myth and Fantasy Toy Pick collab that I'm a part of, dude. Everybody that's in that thing is a top-notch toy photographer. Nate Strong, thank you for the plug there too. Yeah. So that is, I mean, honestly, if you're looking for Mythic Legion's photos outside of myself, there is a whole laundry list of great, talented toy photographers in there. So definitely check them out. Typically, we'll post Sunday night into Monday. But yeah, a lot of awesome folks there. But yeah, going
That's
back
cool.
to the sun and everything, yeah, it can be kind of finicky. Now I shoot at a different spot, and it's a little more shaded, so I can kind of control the light a little bit more. And then I
Gotcha.
also bring like the portable Ulanzi lights and stuff like that, or I might have like a tripod to kind of help with that. Another thing I'll use outside of the portable lighting, I also have like a little reflector. So I'll hit it from one side with like the warm lighting, and then use like the bounce card to warm the other side, so it doesn't look overly saturated. At least I hope not. But trying to help blend the light a little bit more natural with that. But yeah, I really lucked out with this Krotos one because like I said, maybe a minute or two at most. But they had also just cut the grass there too, so it was all nice and level, looked more
Yes,
realistic.
it doesn't even look like grass. Like this totally looks like wheat to me, and it's like the perfect scale for him. So
yeah, this is by far one of my favorite shots that I've done.
yeah, and I love the little bit of how it's blurred in the front.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Just
kind of
awesome.
adjusted the f-stop. So I think I was like maybe at a 5.0 on that. So again, that's you're getting the figure still, but maybe like that kind of the bokeh in the front with the grass. So it kind of that depth of field with everything.
That's great.
But yeah, Krotos,
Like
when I'm
I
talking
can
about
smell this picture.
yeah, I'm hoping to have Prince at LegionsCon this year, and I'm hoping to
that'd be
do
cool.
this one and maybe a few other ones. I think the top 3 that I have on the top of my account, I'm hoping to get those ones for LegionsCon. Hopefully, I'll be talking to a few folks, but yeah, just again, Xylornian Guard. I definitely fallen in love with Xylona's Flock. If I had to pick a faction, I think that's going to be it. At first, when I got into the line, I was like, okay, skeletons are really cool. But then now I really fell in love with Protoss when I came back and went heavy into Mythic Legions with everything. So Protoss, and then that led to the Xylornian Guard. And then I ended up going back and I got Thistlethorn, Faunus. I just got recently from Detour Customs. So yeah, definitely, it lends itself so well to outdoors. I mean,
oh yeah,
I think that Xylona's Flock is one of those. It's like a disease, really. It like you don't even know that you've got it, and next thing you know, it just spreads. And like I'm sitting there putting my adventure party together today, and I'm just trying to pick out figures and stuff. And at one point, I got to what I thought was a good adventure party, and then I looked and I was like, 4 of these are Xylona's Flock. I can't do that. And so then I had to readjust and stuff. So it's like they just worm their way into your brain or something. I don't know. It's interesting.
And I think for me too, when I was coming back and I was getting heavy into the line, like I said, like Alithia was just coming out. So again, that was a heavy Xylona's Flock wave with everything. And it just kind of just fueled the fire a little bit more. So at first, again, I had tons of the skeletons. I went to like Legion of Arethyr for a while. And I feel like that's probably the one faction I have probably the most of, if I have to be honest. But a lot of it's pop and swap customs and stuff like that, or Fury Orcs and along those lines.
It's definitely one of the ones they've made the most figures for, I think, at this point. But man, this picture, I love how I kind of feel bad for this bog goblin. Like I know they're horrible, nasty characters, so like but it's like, oh man, that
They could have a great personality. You don't know,
Yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah,
right.
it's
That's
what's
what
on
I'm
the
saying.
inside.
Like
What's on the inside, definitely.
he's just down the way you've got the knight, the guard, like holding the horn on his helmet.
Mhm.
Like it's just like, oh man, this is brutal.
Yeah, I was lucky enough because Bog Goblin's one of those first few waves with everything, and trying to track him down was so hard. I ended up I was up in Chicago, and there was a toy store like Quake Collectibles or something like Quake Toys,
Mhm.
and they had it for a relatively reasonable price. I'm like, I am snatching that guy up so fast.
Nice. And yeah,
Ah,
come on, man.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I think this was either one of mine or one of Curtis's, I think, shelf selections
I
a
think it
while
was
ago.
yours, but I
Yeah.
do love it.
Yeah, so a lot of my photos and everything, especially when I'm doing outdoor work, you'll notice
Mhm.
that haze there. I use a lot of it's called atmosphere aerosol.
Mhm.
And again, it just adds just a different level of atmosphere, duh. But a
It
little
really,
more of that
does
effect.
look like morning fog. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't look like something that you added.
yeah.
Mhm.
And with that, I mean, that's again right here, the bluff and everything on the very top. That's right there next to Powder Valley. And man, it just that's another one that came together relatively quick. And I've always wanted to do like an against all odds shots. I've always seen D Amazing do something to that scale, but I always wanted to use a troll. I have like all the trolls, and I'm like, I gotta use it. You gotta use one of them at least. So and I
Mhm.
feel like Conan was a good fit for that. I feel like this also. I feel like I was inspired by a lot of if you remember back in like the 80s and early 90s, they always had Dungeons and Dragons advertisements on the back of comic
Uh-huh.
books. And I
Mhm.
feel like this was very reminiscent of that.
I can see
100%.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
I would love to see, and this is just my own personal thing. I would love to see more ice troll stuff, like
Yeah.
in snow pictures. I just absolutely love that ice troll. But it's typically if you're doing an outdoor shot and you're using a troll, it's going to be like either the forest or the stone troll and stuff because it's just not you don't have the snow on the ground and stuff. But man,
Yeah.
I love that ice troll.
Yeah, I definitely. That's one thing, especially with the most recent wave, how they had the one ogre frost giant, ogre
Frost
giant.
ogre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would definitely want to get some of them more of those shots like that. And I shot some photos outdoors, just I guess probably earlier in the year when it was snowy. But man, I don't think. Yeah, I need to get the ice troll out there. Definitely.
Now, you were talking about your store, and you're going to be doing vending at LegionsCon. Do you have a brick and mortar as well, or is it just online?
Well, right now it's just online. Right now, I've only been open up for a little over a month,
Okay.
but I've been selling on eBay here and there for 16 years or so.
Okay.
And it was one of those things where eBay fees are just astronomical. Like
Right.
they take 15%. Then again, if you're offering free shipping or anything like that, you don't want to take a loss with anything, but also you don't want to price gouge yourself out of the market. So,
Right.
I kind of got to that point where I liked what I do at what I was doing for a profession, but this has always been the dream. I actually started the Empire Instagram page way back in 21. That was initially when I was going to launch, and then COVID was still a thing and supply chain issues, so I kind of had to shelve it for a little bit. But yeah, like this year, took the
You had
plunge,
to
and
you had to just shelve it.
yeah. Hey.
wow. Well, that's it, folks.
Yeah,
We've
wrap it
come
up
full
here.
circle.
Hey, he said the name of the channel.
Yeah. But yeah, so I've been doing that now just a little over a month. We open up on April 24th. So yeah, Shopify page. So I carry Mythic Legions, I carry Spiro Toys, Savage Crucible, a lot of myth and fantasy. I'm trying to think. So I branch out. I started working with 3.0 as well too. So if you want something that's not mythic related, I also carry the 3.0 what am I saying? Transformers. That's probably the most
Okay.
obscure thing I have. Yeah, the MDLX line. So they're about 7 inches or so. So they're not great big
Do you
ones.
have like the 3.0 like Ironman stuff too?
I have the option to try to get that. I'm wanting to get some of those in as well too. Right
Gotcha.
now, I've had a lot of people asking me about Transformers.
Okay.
Even though the ones that from 3.0 they don't transform, but they're really
Mm.
articulated. I think they have like 30 or 40 points of articulation. So
Yeah,
a
I
lot
got
of
the
flexibility.
Optimus one. It's pretty cool. They
Yeah.
do a good job. I know the reason I asked about that Iron Man one, Dorklayer talks about him all the time. Like I think he's pretty much gotten every one of those Iron Man releases from 3.0, and
Oh yeah.
he loves them. He talks very highly of them.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those, yeah, they could be a little on the pricier side, but I think they have like LED light up and everything in them. So I think they did one a few years back. Was it like the Hulkbuster? I felt like they did, or I'm thinking of maybe another company. But
I'm
yeah,
not,
the
I'm not sure. I
detail
do know
is
that they use a lot of like die cast metal and stuff,
yeah,
so it's not, it's pretty substantial when you get something from 3.0. Like it's got some weight to it. It's got
yes,
really good quality. I feel like you do get your money's worth for sure out of them.
agreed. And then what also made me fall in love with them, they did a retro version of Optimus Prime. So they did the one where it was more of a stylized, like
Yep.
metallic look, and then now they went with the animation colors from. I want to say this was what convention was it? Was an exclusive, and then Big Bad Toy Store ended up carrying them. I have the stylized one where it's like the darker silver.
Yeah,
And
that's what I've got.
yeah, I'm getting those ones back in into the shop because for a while they were sold out. But I'm getting that. I have the Bumblebee one.
Mhm.
So yeah, hoping to get more of those. So that's
The
probably the
only
most.
thing I didn't like on that more like cartoon one is the windows. Like the
Yes,
windows look really odd. It did look,
yeah.
yeah.
Because where the I guess the wiper would be, it kind of
Mhm.
looks. I don't know. It just looks off. But yeah, like how the top where like there's a slight like a light gray. I get what
Yeah,
they're
it
trying
just
to do, but yeah,
yeah, I
it
think
doesn't
if
fit
they,
my
because
idea.
the regular release has kind of just the regular like plexiglass kind of see-through, on
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I just it just looks kind of like a really fake sticker on there.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
the part that breaks it for me. The rest of the figure is amazing though.
And
So
they don't seem like they're going to be slowing down at all. Like I was talking with the president when I was signing up for all that, and I'm
mhm.
like, what is your go to? And he's like, when I used to work for DC, Batman was the one. Here at 3.0, Optimus Prime is our go to. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So this I am man, I love Mythic Legions. I love Savage Crucible as well too. This stuff is very, very well articulated. And for a while, it's like, at one point when I was dabbling with Mythic Legions, I'm like, they don't really articulate that well. They've gotten a lot better. The Valiant Knight is sure proof of that.
Mhm.
I'm also liking the posability with the Savage Crucible stuff. Some of the balance issue, yeah, you might have to use like a prop or a wire stand or anything like that. But
Yeah, I've heard people having issues with the little toe kick thing has like not very little resistance to it. So
yeah, really no tension on that at all. And I feel like
yeah.
they were saying also was how the peg went into the foot.
Mhm.
Sometimes that kind of pushed the bottom of the foot, so it kind of made it a little like a rocker.
Oh, okay.
So they're trying to address that, from what I'm told, and they'll be working on like different ankle pegs to alleviate that.
Gotcha.
Okay. Regardless, this is an awesome shot.
Hey.
Just yeah, again, telling a story and you're outside. I mean, this is all the boxes getting ticked here.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I lend myself to just trying to get outdoors as best I can. This park is, like I said, it's really close to um, the Powder Valley, like I was telling you about. And again, in the fall or in the winter, obviously the trees are all bare, and so there's a lot more light coming in. Now that it's all in bloom and everything, it's a nice some nice tones in the back with the trees.
Mm,
Gotcha.
yeah. Oh man, and come on.
Yeah, this one is by the good buddy John Emerald Knight Photos. Me and him and Carlos from the
Oh,
Badass
okay.
Reviews. We do a collab,
Oh,
and
I see.
what we started doing is kind of sharing it to making collaborators for all of us, so it shows up on everybody's page. But
Okay.
him and Carlos are very, very talented photographers. Love that one. This one, go ahead.
I was gonna say with that
Didn't we have
I
this as
learned
a shelf selection?
I think you did.
Yeah, I thought we did. I'm not positive, but I
Maybe.
think
If not, I don't know. I don't know how I missed this one.
Either that or I was just talking to somebody about it because I remember talking about how, brutal this makes Snag seem. Like normally people just have him kind of in that thief role where it's just like sneaking around and stealing things, but this makes him seem a little bit more brutal.
Yeah, this one. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say you do a really good job of getting the characters like physically interacting with each other, not just face to face, like how you had that Xylernian guard with the bog goblin, where he's like pulling him back and got the sword coming, I there's really cool dynamic poses of like the interaction and like you're getting them right there in the water and everything. That's really cool to see someone actually playing and having fun with their toys.
Yeah.
Imagine
so like,
that.
yeah, exactly. So this photo, it was one of those. This was a very pleasant surprise where it was like, okay, it came together. I'm like, I like it, but I don't love it, right? And I thought like there was one I had of Snag just from the previous post, and I'm like, okay, I think people maybe gravitate more towards that one. But this one just really blew me away by the amount of response and comments on this one. Again, I like it definitely. It just I was surprised like this one stood out as much as it did compared to the other one. But again, this is again in a puddle. I absolutely love getting out to this park and shooting and just all different types of poses as best I can. Just trying to get some natural feel to it. I used to have like in my back alley of my house, I used to have puddles where I would go and do like stormtrooper photos way back when, like 4 years ago and stuff. But yeah, like some of my favorite photos are they're in water of some sort.
Gotcha.
But this
Oh.
one, coming out of like the gob hollow, I had a light off to the right hand side behind Snag and everything like that. And this is right after a heavy rain, and so like everything was coming down off the bluff and everything like that. Made some nice puddles, kind of made it almost kind of slimy and wet with everything. So
I was gonna say if Elijah was out there,
Yeah, he loves his goblins anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man, Elijah is very very talented. He pulls off some fantastic photos outdoors as well too. He's part of our collab as well.
Awesome.
But yeah, he's nailing with the goblin shots. Really,
not only that, but amazing accent. Like I could listen to Elijah talk all day.
Yeah,
we've got a separate chat with him on Instagram, and sometimes he'll put a little voice message or something in there, and I'm like, yeah, I could listen to that all day.
I mean, I gotta say, Elijah has an advantage of being over in the UK and Europe, where you've got the bluffs and you've got the nature there for we get to some of that, but like being able to go to some of these like castle ruins or old things where there's just like rocks and some of that stuff. It's like when a lot of people think of like fantasy and medieval stuff, they think of England and Europe, obviously, and so just it's just cool to see stuff in those kind of actual settings. Elijah's awesome.
Yes, very top-notch guy.
Well, that was one of my highlights of LegionsCon this past year was him being. I had no idea. I guess I had missed it in our group chat, and Jesse makes fun of me for it. But I had no idea he was coming. So when I saw him like just kind of walk up to the table, I was like just shocked and super excited. So
yeah, that's another thing. I missed a whole bunch of people this past year, and I was like, oh crap, man, they were there. I missed them because again, there's so much going on, But
now this one was definitely one of our shelf selections, and I believe I even gave the critique that it just felt like you were catering to Jesse at this point. Like it's like you were just trying to get a shelf selection,
I'm like, hey, did you see this? Are you sure? This is another one, man. It came together really, really quickly. I ended up had a wire kind of holding him up, and I had photoshopped that out. But again, with the atmosphere aerosol and like again the overgrown trees and everything like that, really kind of helped filter that light right on top of him, and I could use that bounce card again off to the left hand side of the picture to kind of just light him up as best we could.
Yeah, I remember we talked about how we had not seen anybody kind of get a shot of somebody with this weapon charging in. Yeah, it's just a I don't know why, but it looks really awesome having him charge with that weapon.
Yeah. I took a photo of Thistlethorn probably the year before, and I really wanted to kind of do a redo on that because it was one of those things where he was holding the weapon very similar, but he looked just very static. And I wanted to really try to dial in some kind of dynamic move. I think Michael Xavier was saying like he was power walking, and then at one point we're like, oh, he's doing a soft jog or something like that. So,
Yeah.
To me, this is that kind of hero moment where it's like, all right, I've got to, he's doing like the real light jog, and then he's gonna like, be really,
stuff's about to go down, definitely.
Yeah, like it's like okay, here we go.
Yeah, I've been gravitating towards. I'll add music to my posts as well too. I don't know what it is. I just feel like it helps set more of the mood for the photo with everything. Maybe even more so, than what I was expecting. But some of that there's a group out there called 2 Steps from Hell. I think is what I've used in a few of my photos, and a lot of that
Jesse,
really just
didn't you do a Wednesday one shot on that?
I did.
Yeah.
I love that group.
Yeah.
They're in my playlist when I'm customizing.
Yeah.
Like doing my painting and stuff. It's almost all like movie soundtracks and 2 Steps from Hell.
Yeah. And this photo here, this one really came together from Muskegon weekend. A lot of things happened to get this shot. So me and my son, we live in Southern Illinois. We took the drive up there to Muskegon. It was like about 7 hours or so for us. He was hyped to get to a show. We took him to PowerCon last year. He absolutely loved it. So as soon as I told him, hey, you want to go to a toy show? He's like, yes, I'm in.
We should have carpooled.
Yeah, let's learn now. Now we'll know.
Yeah.
But they did the Mythic meetup and everything, which again, I think that was just a fantastic night with that.
Ton of fun.
Yeah, dude, just so much. And again, my kid made out like a bandit. He ended up getting a coloring book. Was it from Dusty, the Bang Studios?
Yeah.
He got that. He ended up winning a Legion Builder Gladiator, and then Michael Casper actually won the staff here, and then he ended up donating it to my son, and then my son was gracious enough to let me use it for the photo. So
nice.
Yeah, but
I tell you what, if next year for MuskeCon, if you've got kids that are interested in this stuff, definitely bring them, because the kids that were in that Mythic meetup made out like bandits.
Yes, they did.
Just FYI.
And honestly, I was telling Jeremy the next day at the show, I'm like, man, if we didn't even do the show at all, my kid would have been just over the moon for what happened at Mythic Meetup. Just because, again, a kid winning anything, and then an awesome action figure on top of that. So that whole weekend, he just was on cloud 9 with everything.
You're gonna have people like taking orphans next year and bringing them with them.
Don't do that. We do not advise that. We don't condone or support that.
Just tell them, grab whatever kid you want from your random orphanage. Say Shooting the Shelve sent you. Run out of there. Bring them to MuskeCon. All right, get you some good prizes.
I was really I'd heard a lot of stuff about MuskeCon. I felt like that was a fantastic show as well too. Just again, a lot of love, a lot of customizers there. You guys were there. Just tons and tons of creativity in that place.
The thing that I love about MuskeCon is that it's more of that tight-knit family bond time, because LegionsCon is so busy. There's so much going on, from intern to GCon, and then setup night and the show, and then after hours activities and stuff. It's just so busy. It's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
You don't even really get time to breathe. With MuskeCon, because it's a one-day show, you've got, you do the setup Friday night, you do the show, and then you've got all this extra time to just kind of hang out, talk with people, enjoy some time with folks that maybe you don't normally get to spend time with. It's just a different setting, a different feel to it. It's a little bit more laid back, a little like, it's like, hey, you got time to just kind of chill with people and have fun. And
exactly.
it's really cool.
One thing. Yeah. but no, even the area was really nice. The hotel was fantastic, and then a surrounding area. There was a lot of restaurants and shops. I think just
Mhm.
across the street from the place, there was a can't remember the name of it, but it was a brewery. But they had like food and everything like that. Nice little restaurant. And man, we're already talking about going back.
Yeah, it's a
Awesome.
great location. Like I know last year, kind of after, I think it might have been Friday night. I think it was Friday night last year. Like we just kind of walked, like, and we just went bar hopping. Like there's like you turn the corner after the hotel, and
Mhm.
there's like several bars, like
Yep.
one after another. And then there's one that's like attached to like a hockey arena, like an amateur hockey arena.
Oh
So it's
wow.
like you go in and you can, they've got like bar type food. So you can order food and have some drinks, and then you turn and look to your right and there's a hockey game going on. And it's just like, yeah, it's very interesting. So it is a nice little area. And yeah, good family vibe. Can't recommend that con enough to folks.
Mhm.
If you want that kind of family LegionsCon experience, but at a more slow pace,
Right.
that's what I would say MesquiCon is.
Yeah. Hopefully, I might even reach out to them. Because again, I love the show so much. I might even try to set up there next year. Hopefully.
Oh,
We'll
that'd be
see what
Oh,
awesome.
happens.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we doubled just the mythic vendors
Mhm.
from last year to this year.
Oh wow.
So if we could do that again, I think that would be great. The mythic presence there is definitely growing.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
so
And
yeah.
I think you might have mentioned it before. Like, I mean, I feel like it's a nice little treat before LegionsCon. Like LegionsCon
Mhm.
happens and there's this big gap. I mean, they're trying to do more shows throughout the year, but again, it's more that okay, cool, we're catching up with everybody. We're going to see them again in a few months, so it doesn't feel like
Right.
such a long gap.
Well, yeah, it's like in that kind of March, April time frame. So it's
Mhm.
it's it's almost that halfway point from LegionsCon. It's like man, I'm really jonesing for my fix of hanging out with cool people and talking toys, and
Yeah,
it just fuels you enough to get you through the rest of the year. So
absolutely. And that's one
yeah.
thing I might not have mentioned about LegionsCon. Like when I'm at that show, even though like it's busy and there's a lot going on, I have
Hmm.
never felt more at peace at a toy show in
Hmm.
all my life. I've gone to like bigger like conventions and do those Comic Cons and stuff like that. It's like, man, there's just so much of a relaxing feeling just because again, there's so much of like, hey, these are all like-minded people, all
Hmm.
coming together to enjoy toys. It's pretty
And
awesome.
I can't talk about MesquiCon without throwing some credit out there to Pete McCarthy. Is the one that puts that all together and just does an amazing job.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, you get all credit to him for getting that set up. Not only the con itself, but the Mythic meetup and everything. Just does an amazing job with that.
Yeah, top notch all around for sure.
Beautiful.
Totally agree. I got distracted by a thought, and I apologize in the last couple seconds there.
We forgive you for having a thought.
That's all right.
I was just remembering about the new wave that the Gold Skeleton 2 showed the C clip with
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
shield, and I was
Yeah.
trying to remember, do all the shields show the C clip? And only that
No,
one did, so I don't
I
know.
think the reason that they said that is because it's it's kind of a version 2 of the gold skeleton, and the original one had the C clip.
Mhm.
Um, so it's
Okay,
it's kind of, yeah, I don't know,
I
paying
missed that.
tribute to it or whatever, but yeah, I would love to see some more. But it has both. It has the regular shield holder and it has
Okay,
the C clip. But
okay.
I would love to see some more of those, especially for the heavier shields.
Yeah.
That one for the Xylernian Guard,
Oh my god,
the
yeah.
Gorgo Aether Blade, like those things are way better at holding those.
Those
Yeah,
big
those
elf
are
shields.
great shields, but man, yeah, like you said, they just kind of like rotate and everything in the hand, and yeah, they're all very heavy.
Dude,
So
today, when I was doing that adventure party pick, getting Torgan to hold anything was like those like club like dwarf hands.
mhm.
It's so hard to put like weapons and shields and stuff in there. Like they just don't want to hold them for anything. So
Yeah.
this is beautiful.
Oh,
This
Yeah,
thank you.
is, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I
So
was a
the
huge Stratos fan as a kid.
same.
And this, I mean, I would say that, seeing when I saw the release of this, it didn't really hit me as Stratos, but seeing this
Mhm.
definitely makes me feel like Stratos.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Yeah. So this photo came together again, at sunset and everything like that. It's kind of a horror story because right after I took this photo, a strong gust of wind knocked this whole thing down and just
oh boy.
scuffed up his face and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh man. So
You're,
it was. I'm
you're
glad I
like, well,
got
I
the
hope that
photo.
one was good because that's all
Yeah.
I'm getting.
I was like, oh man, that sucks. But I had a similar story to that too, where I had the very first Vorgus Vermilius, and I was shooting outdoors up on my second floor of my house on the
Mhm.
banister, like a flower pot that my wife had. And I'm like, all right, cool, everything. I got the photo, and then I look over and I look back, and he's gone. I'm like, what? He took a dive
Wow.
off the
Two
deck, and
two
he hit my
stories, huh?
Oh my god, he hit my grill. Luckily, I think there was like a small little speck of paint, but everything else was fine. I got so damn lucky, and I'm like, I'm never shooting on the second floor again. And then what happens? I do that with the Zenith on there.
Well, there you go,
Well,
folks.
it
If you're
wasn't on
gonna
the second
throw
floor, was it?
yeah, if you're gonna throw a figure from your second floor at your grill, know that Vorgus Vermilius is the one that's gonna hold up. So
That's right. That's right. No, that Star one, that one was the Stratos one was kind of like on a bluff. It was maybe about 4 foot up, so it was not the
Okay.
longest fall, but still sad day.
I could just, yeah, I could just stare at these pictures all day.
Oh well, thank you, man. And again, it's been really cool being very inspired. Like obviously the mystery boxes. I
Mhm.
think I mean yeah for long term collectors and everything like that. I mean a lot of these photos or a lot of these figures, there was no chance of me even getting these at one point. At one point, I was kind of pricing myself out. But so the fact that they had this, uh, man, I was just able to get some of these older figures at a reasonable price. So it was fantastic. But yeah, just being super inspired the lucky thing is this gonks here. I ended up buying it like a week before the mystery boxes went live. I'm like, oh crap! And
Oh,
then,
nice.
but luckily I didn't get doubles or anything like that. But I got pretty much a little bit of everything that I was wanting to get.
Sorry.
I will say this.
I need to get one of those checkerboard pattern crash box floors. I've got the other ones. That's the only floor of theirs that I don't have, and it's really cool. I like that a lot.
I don't. I mean, I was even asking for these at LegionsCon this past year, see if he had any more,
Mhm.
and he was making it sound like he wasn't going to be doing that again. Which,
Oh, really?
yeah, again, those are very, I would imagine, very painstaking to get that just lined up just right. But
Mm.
yeah, because I want to say this was the LegionsCon 22 exclusive, and then he had like some in stock right after that. But
Well, the 22, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought the 22 is where he did the echelon one, echelon 2, and then he
Mhm.
did the floors that go with that, where it's kind of got the tiles in more of like a kind of circular pattern.
Okay, I got you.
I think this one was this past year's, but I didn't know if it was an exclusive or if it was something he was going to do more of. But the other one of Crash Box that I need to get at some point is the one with the staircase. And he definitely told me
Yeah.
that in person last year. He's like, I'm never making those again. And his wife was there, and I guess she did the painting for it. She's like, yeah, that was horrible, and I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
But if somebody is ever unloading one of those stair sets, I
Mhm.
got to get one of those. They're so good.
Yeah. Yeah, they were doing that, and then they were talking about making like stone pillars. But I
Mm.
don't know if that was going to be like they're already pre-done, or if it was like a DIY kind of thing where
They
they had the
they
foam cut.
They
Or
did some that they painted up themselves, and then I guess it was a real hassle. And then they were toying with the idea of putting them out there and having people paint them,
yeah,
which actually I've got a set of them here. So give me 1 second.
All right. This one's awesome. I mean,
Thank you.
I'm trying to think of things to say other than this one's awesome. This one's awesome. What just
Well, you have
this
exquisite
purple
taste. That's all
and
I can say.
red, the purple and red hues here, and then just like the brilliant effect of the blue glow. I'm assuming that's a black light pointing on him.
Yep, we got the black light there, and then some of that atmosphere aerosol to kind of kick that up a bit.
This, I mean,
Very cool on the pillar.
I'm
Yeah,
not calling Trevor out. I'm saying
Oh.
you throw Azza in this picture, and that could have been the promo shot for Azza. I'm just saying it's
It is cool.
yeah.
Are you able to embiggen me, Jesse?
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
So this is one of those pillars that we were talking about, and it just comes apart in little sections.
Okay.
And Darla actually painted this one. I think we won it on the Lair, Legion's Lair. He was on there, and he did a couple giveaways of like these sets for people that wanted to paint them. So it comes out looking really well, but I don't know if he decided to keep doing that or not. So
I would love, if he does that, I would love more. I would love to get some of those, because I feel like having pillars like that, or even like the kind of the Roman kind of pillars, I think that would just lend itself very well.
Yeah, they're awesome. If he has those still, I would definitely jump on that too, because it's not terribly difficult to paint, but it's got a really good look. So
yeah, I agree. I'm trying to think. There was Noah Pratt did some of those. I don't know if he did like the circular ones like that, but I feel like that might have been 2 years ago. He did something like that as for LegionsCon or something like that. But man, yeah, that would look really
I know
good.
he's got those turntables that he had a couple years ago. He said he was going to have some this year too, I think. Those turntables are really cool. I got one of those from him.
Yeah, he had that, and then he had like the tiers where it was like the foam.
Yeah. I picked up one of those. I've got it around here. I got it. I got my Templars on it right now. He didn't do as much of the Dio stuff last year. He said it just takes up so much time.
Right.
So he focused more on kind of, heads and things like that. But we'll see. I think when Noah, he has a like a construction architect kind of background. So when he builds things, he puts a lot of thought into, structurally how it should go. So I think some of his Dio pieces are really like the best that there are. It's just, I don't know that he has the time to do a lot of them, but I will throw this out there. If anybody here sees Noah have some Dio pieces available, jump on it, because they're amazing.
Yeah. I think how I ran into Noah years ago, he was in like a Mezco group, and he ended up doing like a rowboat out of foam and everything like that for like Popeye. And I'm like, man, I need to get this, because it's spectacular. I mean, so much detail, all the work on everything looks spot on.
And just another great dude too, on top of being talented.
Yeah, I try to hit him up every year for a custom figure or some Dio or whatever he might have at his table. Usually I spend quite a bit of money. So
yeah. See, I can't get into ones like this where, I mean, make believe stuff like a knight downing an orc, like that just wouldn't happen. So, I mean, maybe he tripped. That's the only thing I can think.
Well, he was helping him up. You see, he's holding his by his hand. Like, hey, buddy, get
orcs,
up on your feet.
Yeah, orcs don't need help getting up. So yeah.
Or the orc was napping, and he's like, hey, you need to get up and get back to work. I don't know.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I fully support that previous photo. And I like orcs. I just,
it's like when I'm doing photography, I kind of go in and out of ways where, like, okay, I've done a whole bunch of Valiant Knight photos. Now I need to maybe have him in a compromised position. Maybe he's getting attacked now instead of always being the guy, ever vigilant with everything. So I kind of just try to throw a little bit of variety, so it's not just one character always, coming out on top, kind of telling more of a story.
This is beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, again, that's that hyper articulation, to where you're getting a lot of those poses. The butterfly joint at the shoulder really helps out with that. But again, that right there, I ended up using one of the armor packs on that to kind of give it a little bit of a different look. But yeah, I kind of want to revisit this one maybe from a different angle. But with these characters, I want to try to get really dynamic photos with as best I can.
Yeah.
The shots that you have of characters like either thrusting with a weapon or charging in with a weapon are really good. Like you do a good job of capturing the motion on there, so it looks like how you would expect somebody to, like thrust a weapon at somebody.
Thank you. Yeah, whatever you do, don't go looking back at the very beginning of this page, because some of the posing work was not anywhere near this at all. Very just like vanilla pose, and like,
it's all a work in progress.
Yeah. This one here, I don't shoot a lot of 3A stuff. I usually have more of the underverse. Like,
Mhm.
so they had 3A toys, they broke away, and then now they're doing underverse. So they're doing like more of the 6 scale stuff that I'll shoot. This one, I've had this figure for years, and
Mhm.
I literally dropped my kid off from school. I'm in my back driveway. The sun was just right, and I'm like, let me see what I can get with this guy. So
That's awesome.
This feels like a perfect like Halloween sunsetting, like it's about to be a bad night in the town tonight kind of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah, there's I have some of the 6 scale stuff up of the oh god, the Nam Plume. So it looks like he's got a big gas mask on, very like apocalyptic feel.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
I'll do a lot of that with kind of the reddish orange background. So like this is that same park, there's no leaves or anything in the background. So again, you're hitting more of that the stray light coming through, getting some of that bokeh, like the little circles and everything like that. This one
Mhm.
not as much, but some of the other ones. I
I
like
like
this
this.
figure. But
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I say I like this figure. I have not shot it since this photo. It came. It was this, and then it also came with a throne. And I keep telling myself I need to break it out and use it, but I don't know. That might be a one and done kind of thing. So,
This almost it reminds me, it's not exactly the same, but the style of this, because I see it says Camelot and King Arthur,
mhm.
reminds me of the comic book series Once in Future that was out a
Oh,
couple of
love
years
that.
ago. Did you
Love
read
that
that
series.
series?
Yes.
I need to read the last couple issues. I have them, I just haven't read them yet.
Yeah. Dan
But
Morrow's
this
artwork for that was spectacular.
yeah, but this feels like the way they have one of the Arthur characters in that.
Yeah, I love that because it wasn't like the traditional like armor and stuff like that. It almost like a new age spin to it. And I thought, man, like
Yeah,
that stuff really stood out.
yeah.
Oh, from my old TikTok days way back when.
Look at that's always that's cool, man. I love this guy on the far right that's like flying through the air.
Yeah. So probably back around 2020, 2021, that's when I was really focusing on a lot of GI Joe stuff. I was doing a Snake Eye Saturday. That was my collab I was doing. And then there would always be I'd have like random shots of like stormtroopers like in puddles or with explosions and stuff like that. I tell myself I don't know. I like Mythic Legions, but I feel like there's times where I need to dabble a little bit back on some of those other franchises with everything.
Sure.
But it's
Um,
almost like, oh, there it is. But it's almost like you do something for so long and you try to deviate from that, and then it's like your fan base is like, what is this? It's almost like a kind of they have to like kind of relearn a little bit, or might not gravitate towards it.
Yeah.
can you go to the main screen there, Jesse? And then scroll down there, keep going till you get to there's some Vorgus 2 stuff. I
Oh
definitely want to pull up those. That one right there on the far left, up. No, go up a little bit more. Up one more. Right there on the far right. Far right. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, so you say
that
far
was
left, so
art. I got that head
Well,
sculpt
it's
at
on my right.
LegionsCon. Yeah, I got that at LegionsCon, that translucent one. He did a magnificent job with these ones. He ended up he had some ones that were like painted up and everything, and then he had this one. But even like the ones he did painted up, he painted like the face, and then he went on like the inside, and he kind of like dremeled the inside to make it look like the veins and everything,
Yeah.
like on the inside
mhm.
of the resin. It looked phenomenal.
Yeah, I love Arthas's work, but then also your lighting and stuff behind it and everything like this. Yeah, this is fierce. So, and then
Thank
you
you.
got another one. I think it's a couple more from here where it's dwarf custom that you picked up. That one up there, up
Oh
one
yeah, that
more
that one from Noah.
from Noah. Oh,
Yep.
that thing's awesome.
Yeah, that one, it's so crazy. Like I go to Legion's Con, like I was so dead set on one character, it sold out, and then I
Mhm.
saw one, I'm like, this is definitely going to fit the bill for sure. Just because again, it's the red and black. I feel like I gravitate. Like anytime I'm doing a pop and swap, I feel like I'm gravitating towards red and black of some kind of design. Um, he got this one, and I ended up picking up another one from him. But yeah, like a dwarf too, especially a Fury dwarf.
If Trevor's still watching, Trevor, how did you miss this? Like, I know he was going around grabbing like anything Fury that he could grab,
Mhm.
and this is stunning. That
And he,
is just an awesome custom.
yeah, yeah, and he was directly, I think, across from Noah, wasn't he? I think last
Yeah.
year, or catty
Yeah,
corner.
pretty much, yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
those
so
are
and then
great.
I don't do a lot. I haven't done any paint work or any kind of customization of that, but I'll do pop and swaps, and I might buy the occasional head and everything like that. But like the Marco, I'm sorry, the Mark Calvo, I believe. Yeah, um, he does the inserts for the Xylernian and guard heads.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
This is fantastic stuff.
I love this
Man.
one.
Yeah, just amazing stuff, man.
I don't know how I'm missing. Like I'm blaming the algorithm because I look for your
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, it's that's the frustrating thing when I first started Instagram in 2017, you saw pretty much everybody you followed. Nowadays you are gonna, unfortunately, it's gonna miss a whole bunch of stuff, and it's a big disservice. I feel like, especially when we're talking about community building. You miss a whole wave of shots from somebody, then you're playing catch up with everything. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Wow. I'm looking at your Instagram. You've got one with Captain America, and man, it looks like a person. That does not look like a figure.
I think that might be my Memorial Day one from last
Yeah,
year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's
Was-
Hot Toys right there.
dude, right there. That is crazy.
Yeah,
That does not look like a toy.
Hot Toys, man. Again, they are expensive, but man, the quality you get with them, and just like the realism, I feel like they take light so well with everything,
Mhm.
and they photograph so well. But again, I'm
uh,
so nervous about taking stuff out in the field, especially with something high end like that, and putting it in dirt or anything like that. But
Yeah, I mean, I'd much rather take it to the second story and put it on the edge of my balcony.
I mean, it's only
Oh, Jesse found what he's going to be stuck on for a while.
yeah.
no, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I did this one. I thought I did. I know I've done. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
I don't think
know.
this one was on our show because I don't remember seeing this one.
I
But it's
probably
cool.
snapped a picture of it to put it on the show, but like that's the thing. I'll snap like 5 or 6 things, but then Curtis is like, "Hey, where are the pictures?" And I just grab the first 4 I can find.
There you go.
Yeah, because Jesse's got a 4 rule.
Because
So
hey, you get Instagram to up how many pictures I can put in one thing without having to use a grid system.
Yeah.
All right, you're talking about being afraid of taking your hot toys out, but you've got your stormtroopers out in the water.
Well, I mean, it got a little wet. I mean, but that was probably the most risky of the stormtroopers. I feel like, yeah, that thing got soaked that day. I did too. Like that's the big park. This is a gigantic puddle. I was sopping wet after all this. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
that's
feel like I need to get out and get some more Star Wars photos. I used to do quite a bit, but man,
ooh,
I
that's
really
another
dialed it
cool
back.
one.
Yeah, Hot
Man,
Toys again. Yeah, the
man,
only
yeah,
drawback was
I can't do those hot toys, man. I would. Oh my goodness, that would kill me.
I go in phases where I'm like, all right, I don't need Hot Toys. And then all of a sudden they come out with one. I'm like, man, okay, maybe just one. And then I find myself like 2 or 3 in pre-order. I'm like, okay, I need to slow down and then take a little break with it. But that last Mandalorian one, I really like that. The only drawback is it's got the chrome photo. So if you're really kind of close or near it, you're going to see a reflection of yourself. So you got to kind of hide, as the photo's going off. But
Steve's in like a bush with his camera, like trying to sneak up on Mandalorian.
That's right.
I'm not dissing Hasbro stuff. I know, I like Hasbro toys, not as much as other stuff, but like this, I had to look at this and read your description before I realized it was a Hasbro. Like just the way the light was filtering it around it, I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool for a Hot Toys. And then I'm like, wait, no, that's not a Hot Toys. What is that?
Yeah. This photo actually I took with my cell phone, and this was I was getting off of work, and I work at a hospital with the parking garage, and this was literally just at the right time of day, and like I turned my cell phone upside down to kind of get more of that upward angle with everything, and yeah, it yeah, again, it's one of those ones where I didn't expect it to look really
Okay.
good, and it turned out very well.
We got to have a conversation here. Maybe I'm just that dysfunctional as a human being, but you keep talking about, oh, I can drop my kid off to work. So I popped a toy on the car. Oh, at work, going to school, or, oh, we were doing this. I was on my way to, a baptism, and I just happened to throw this thing like, in the water. Like, I'm like, did I have my wallet today? I don't have my ID. I forgot my lunch. It's de-thawing on the kitchen counter. Like, there's no way I'm like cohesive enough as a person to think I'm going to take this toy with me just in case. And
Yeah,
my brain
you
just
had
does not work that way.
you
I
just had
load up quite a bit.
Darla giggling over on the couch like uncontrollably.
I yeah, it'll be a thing where I'll load up my bag and I'm like, okay, I have these figures. All right, let's see what happens with these. Kind of have kind of a frame of reference of what I'm wanting to shoot. Sometimes it might come together, sometimes might not. But even
Sure.
like when we'll go on vacation, like I'll go down to we went down to Florida one time down to like Clearwater. And this back when I was doing a lot of the Star Wars stuff, and I had like a whole bag of Hasbro stormtroopers and all this stuff. And my wife's like, What are you doing?" I'm like, well, the sun's going to be coming down and it's going to be just right on the beach. And I think it's going to look really good with the stormtrooper. So I'm trying to sell it to her. Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's going to look really good and it's going to be good for the page. Right. And she just rolls her eyes and she accepts it. I appreciate it.
That's
Meanwhile,
awesome.
I'm over here like Guy in Galaxy Quest. Is there air? Can I breathe outside? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like
Pants on.
Callback.
we went one year and I'm like, man, this would have been a great place to take photos. And then now that's kind of the running gag. Like if I'm looking at something, she's like, what are you looking at? And then she's like, oh, this is a great place to take photos, right? I'm like, yeah.
See, now I would do that as a kid.
I will say though that it does sound like it helps you appreciate nature quite a bit though.
Yes.
I noticed my wife kind of doing some of that when she was working on dio pieces. Like she started like just noticing like brick walls or like stone walkways or something, just kind of like staring at and looking at it. And it just it changes your brain a little bit to where you kind of look at things a little bit different that you may have just taken for granted in the past. So
you might notice just a little bit more detail on something like, man, that looks really cool. That would look really good in a shot, or how the light would bounce, or work with that. And it's very strange. Like again, I would have never have thought at all. Like I mean, back when I first started, Instagram and stuff like that, I was a men on card collector. So again, going from that to like, yeah, that took up way too much space.
Yeah.
And then I got hip to D Amazing's work. I'm like, oh, he's taking them out of the package. Oh, he's posing them. All right, cool. All right, yeah. So then that kind of led me down the rabbit hole, that I'm on. But yeah, it's like you kind of appreciate a little bit more of like just the setting, the environment. I'm like, man, that would make a really cool photo, and just kind of keeping that in kind of almost like a running list of things I want to do. Like I have a few ideas. I try to jot them down, maybe even sometimes do like a loose sketch of like, okay, he's going to be posed like this, maybe like that. And again, it all comes down to how it's lit and how things turn out. Because like there was a time, God, even just last week, I'm like, all right, cool. I've got a few hours. I'm going to take some photos, and like just nothing was coming together, nothing at all. And then like for whatever reason, like 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh wait, maybe I'll just try this. And then it just like it all clicked. Like it's just the weirdest thing where like at first like nothing, and then out of nothing, it comes together very smoothly. So like, why didn't I think of that to start with?
Seeing like me, like I got done with the customizing studio today, and I said, oh, I got a couple hours, and I'm gonna take a nap.
Well, hey, there's always time for that too.
Yeah, just really awesome stuff, inspiring. That just how much you just make time for this stuff, and then just the creativity and everything. It's just really cool.
Yeah,
So,
and man, a lot of this is, Mythic Legions has really kind of, like I said earlier, it's really kind of relit the creativity, because there was a while where like, what am I gonna even shoot? Like, I wasn't even like the process of like making photos and everything. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm gonna shoot. I have just like no inspiration, and then like getting these characters in hand, or like some of the newer ones like Krotos and stuff like that, and I'm just like, oh dang, this would look great, and just kind of
mm,
the wheels started turning again.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I scrolled a little further back on your Instagram. I'm not going to pull it back up, but like you can see a difference, like, because a lot of it, the stuff I'm looking at now is like comic book stuff. So it's like cityscapes, it looks like a lot of interior, diorama, like staged, interior stuff. And then, with like bright color backgrounds, and they're great. But then
Mhm.
there's something a little bit further up. There's just like this shift, and suddenly it's like, up
Yeah.
to 11. Like I said, they all look good, but there's just something changes in your stuff here, your work, that just it's really cool to see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great
definitely the
progression for sure.
progression. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's so interesting. Just like I said, kind of how it started off and how it's going now. It's definitely the creative side of things, and it's just been really enjoyable this whole ride with everything. Just to be able to get time to do this, and just meet so many people in the community that are like minded, like you and me, and just sharing our love for toys. It's been awesome.
I will say that there does seem to be a lack of Batman photography. So
Go further back; they're in there.
yeah, we need to kind of rectify that a little bit, get some new outdoorsy, maybe I don't know, maybe find one of those places that you like to go to but at night, and get like a little grimy Gotham look to it. So
Yeah, man, me and my buddy, we're big Batman fans, and we collect the artwork. And he's like, seriously, when are you going to start breaking out some more Batman photos? I'm ready. And I'm like,
mhm.
I'm kind of on this thing right now. Me and him were just talking about that yesterday too. So maybe I need to rectify that sooner than later.
Yeah, just throw one or two in the mix,
Yeah.
So
Take a
beautiful.
picture of him dropping Hans Gruber off Nakatomi Tower. I mean, your second floor balcony or something.
Right.
That's an interesting idea. Yeah. Do they make a Hans Gruber figure?
Well, they
I
should.
mean, there's Severus Snape figures. I'm sure could be easily customized.
Yeah,
or at least the head.
That'd be actually kind of cool to get a figure of him falling.
There's probably some Asian toy company that, I mean, there's a Jamiroquai action figure. So
Yeah.
surely someone has a Hans Gruber figure out there somewhere.
Is there
I'm
a
still blown away
Rule
that was made into a
34
figure.
for action figures?
Say
What
that
was
last
that?
part?
I said, is there a Rule 34 related to action figures?
I'm sure there is.
That
I'm
if
not
there
looking
exists,
that up.
an action figure of it. Okay.
Oh,
Awesome.
you didn't mean
No.
an actual Rule 34.
Yeah, I meant yeah.
I'm sure that's out there too.
Yeah, that's facts. Well, Steve, it's been awesome taking a look at your work and just kind of shooting the shelf with you. And yeah, can't wait to see it at LegionsCon. If you've got anything that's coming up in this area, hit me up. Let me know if it's relatively close. I'll try to make it there. I was definitely going to try to go to the next Toy Man show, but it sounds like you really not doing that. It's packed in there. It's like you can't even hardly move. But yeah.
And to his point, I've been on a waiting list. I've reached out like March, May, all those ones, and he's just been solidly booked. So but yeah, I've got one coming up in Springfield, Illinois. That's on the 9th. And then the next one I think is in July, but that's up in Peoria. That's like so QuadCon. That's that guy that does the kind of circuit of the Midwest, and he's got a few of them. So those are the two that I know are coming up. And then in Chicago, the Chicago Toy Show, I'll be setting up at the end of July.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that'll be exciting. I went to that one back in April when the Horsemen were there, and that's a show.
That Chicago one I hear is the real deal.
That was my first time attending that, and it was massive. So
yeah. Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you being on. This has been a ton of fun. The time has just flown by.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's been great, and we can't wait to see you at LegionsCon. It's going to be a ton of fun. So
Yeah, look forward to seeing everybody there, man. It's such a blast, and I hope if there's anybody that's ever on the fence about going to LegionsCon, definitely it's worth it. It's worth it.
yep. And anybody out there watching, don't tell this guy that you don't want to collect AWOC, because I'm telling you, tackled me, held me down. So
You're gonna open up your door and there's gonna be a surprise package of more AWOC. Just I don't even know where you live, but I'm gonna figure it out.
It'll be that scene in The Hobbit where all the dwarves just fall in the door.
Nice.
Nothing but AWOC. So
Beautiful. All right. Well, we're going to put you backstage and close out the show. If you've got to run, totally understand that. If not, hang out and we'll talk to you as soon as we're done closing it out and go from there.
yeah, I'll be hanging out. Yeah. But thank you guys again. This has been an absolute wonderful opportunity. Thank you guys for having me on the show. Definitely look forward to seeing you guys at LegionsCon, and
Definitely.
just keep doing great things, man.
Beautiful.
Right back at you.
Yeah.
We'll see you in just a bit.
All right. Take care,
All right.
guys.
See ya.
So, folks, make sure you go check out his articulated _times at Instagram and Articulated Empire toy shop online for more stuff from Steve.
There you go.
And the collab, the mythic. I forget where. Did you have that still starred?
I didn't have it starred, but it was
okay.
back there earlier from.
All right, I'm not going to find it.
Yeah, I'll try.
I'll try to find it and put it in the description. Yeah. I'll try to find it and put it in the tabs or the description after the show. Well, that was a lot of fun. It's always fun getting to know folks, even if we've met in person. Getting to know them a little bit better on the show is always a good time.
Yeah, and just some really cool stuff too. Like
mm-hmm.
One of those, we talk about like in our shelf selections and stuff about adding, following people that you like their work on Instagram to make your feed a lot better. His is definitely one of those that you definitely want to follow. So
yes, Myth and Fantasy Toy Picks. Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, that's him. That's Steve. I was like, that name looks familiar. See what I'm talking about? My brain. Do I have pants on right now? I don't know.
You definitely got a hat on. I know. I've seen that.
Pants on.
Awesome. We got a show next week too, don't we? Yes.
What?
Yes,
Oh, yes. Yeah. I was like, what? Why wouldn't we? You said that in a weird way.
It's kind of the same way that I always lead into it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I go, we got a show next week, right? And you go, oh yeah, and we got a great guest and blah blah blah, and then you do your thing.
We have a guest. All right. I don't know. So
I may do that. There's, Purple Gang's clipping that.
I'm sure. Why not? No, Steve-O. No, I am not. And I'm not going to read that out loud, even if you do a super chat. I'm not trying to get you to do a super chat, but I'm not reading that out loud because I'm not getting clips saying that. Yes, next week. So due to my inability to schedule things on the calendar correctly, I had talked to this guest a long time ago about getting him on the show, and apparently never followed up with him. So big apologies to our guest, but we finally got him.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be on our show next week. We are talking about Joe Martinez, one of the weekly regulars in the customizing studio on Sundays. Really talented guy, lots of fun. So come join us next week to get to know a little bit more about Joe Martinez. If you see his Friday fodder sales, jump on that stuff. He ships fast, and that's he's always got a lot of good parts in there.
Drow Taylor on Instagram.
Yes.
And also, on top of the customizing studio, often in the Friday night Legions chats as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And I know he was here in the chat earlier tonight. So
yep, great dude, and we'll get to talk to him next week.
Oh, there he is. So. He's still here. What's up, Joe? So yeah, next Sunday I will be going to Florida. Nope, that's not it.
Nope, Maryland.
Next Friday night Friday afternoon. This hat's kind of tight on my head. I think it's cutting off the circulation. What? Maryland Maryland Toy Expo with Wolf King Customs next weekend. Saturday, set up Friday, show Saturday. So for any folks in the kind of tri-state DC area, come check out the show. 2 big halls, 2 big rooms. The 4-H is for 4-H, like farmer 4-H, not for horsemen 4-H.
Don't
Expo
make that
Center.
mistake again.
Yeah. And but check out the Maryland Toy Expo. Man, good grief. Toy Expo next weekend.
Jesse went to the 4-H one for the horsemen. He stayed for the goats. So
I mean, why not?
Exactly.
But
I did
I'll be
see
back.
that you were the spotlight artist for Wolf King Customs today. They'd been doing like this little spotlight thing for leading up to the show.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of weird because I've been doing all those posts. So like having to do my own post today, I was like, I don't know how to do this.
Telling people that you were doing it, like I was trying to keep that illusion.
Well, I mean, that's why it's probably not as written up as nice as the other ones. So Jesse, he's this guy. He paints some stuff. He'll be running the table.
But he doesn't know what state he's going to be in next week.
I don't know what state I'm going to be in when I wake up.
State of confusion. That's the one.
Yes. But if you're always confused, are you really confused?
Is that a Confucius?
I don't. Well, now it is.
All right.
Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for the super chats. Thank to our regular subscribers and channel members, which doesn't tell me who you are. I haven't figured out how to figure out who you are, so I can't thank you by name. Because all the little ones here are, the ones I gave out tonight. So
two last reminders. Adventure Party 24 on Mythic Legions Cabal. Get in that contest. You got till the end of the month. Also, at the end of this upcoming month, we're going to have our giveaway for our 750 subscribers, as well as our 3-year anniversary. So be prepared for that. So a couple things coming at the end of the month with some potential prizes. So
yes, absolutely. And it's also the weekend, before the Ashes of Agbendor wraps up. So lots of things wrapping up, starting new things. So, we'll see what happens from there. It's a great year for Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, Figure Obscura, and all things for horsemen. You were wrapping up and I added on more. So
you're fun. Until next time.
What's in your wallet? Nope. Shelf.
That's
what's on your shelf? No!